which is best?
Yeah, two very different answers on that stage. Let's see who ends up prevailing. Coming into this, Tom, I think talking about favorites, you know, FUT pushing Fnatic for a lot of people will have them thinking, well, that's FUT heated up, looking good, pushing one of the best at distance, but I think a lot of people looked at that as Fnatic underperforming, and we still haven't seen FUT hit their stride. No better time than up against KC, who also have had those stumbles recently.
Yeah, I really want to see what FUT have got planned on this attack side, because I feel like you're going to have to run very slow, and your executions are going to have to be very direct, because you don't have a lot of utility that's going to come back to help you later on. Like, when you're out of Prowlers, you're out of Prowlers. Like, there's nothing more that you can do. So going through versus a comp that has a load of flashes when you're running with a double controller is quite scary, because they can just burst out your utility. On the attack, you get to set the pace a bit more.
Well, a lot of players spotted here. Sugetsu decides to stick around, hold his ground with still a trap on the site, but steps back in the other direction. Baha has claimed a small amount of space, but really he needs that fight if they're going to go to that B site. There's the player spotted, but the shots don't land. Info for Shados, that gets a flash out of Aves, but he's caught in the crossfire. A lot of damage done, and it will be cleaned up.
Mid. 30 seconds
FUT with
left.
one alive in a 1v4. This round very quickly seems to have been decided.
Yeah, nowhere out for Yedaje to go, and it's Shados with a triple to start things off. I thought it would be the Dosia being the hero of the round, but the IGL stepping up to the plate. And I think that's another sort of interesting talking point from my perspective, is you go back to their previous match, and I thought Dosia had a pretty good game. I think Sugetsu, playing the Astra a fair bit, crazy clutches, he had a pretty good game. It was kind of the rest. And in their first match, I was looking at Aves. They're having some insane performances. I'm looking at Levin, I'm looking at Shados. Shados, he's got the IGL, like, excuse. Levin, I need to see big things.
Exactly. I think then, even with the excuses for Shados, he hasn't needed them in some of the matchups. I think his teammates needing them a bit more than himself at times. And I do agree. There was a narrative that Mini gave us on that desk that this is a proving ground for whether Levin can do the things that KC want him to. I'm sure we'll talk about later those different roles. For now, Paranoia, that's going to catch all 5 if it was sent through, but those pistols would be very close. Doja stays inside that smoke, but they invade. And an easy trade to start this out. Sugetsu making a meal out of it. And even trades, this is not good enough for the defense.
Oh yeah, that's actually, well, there's currently one rifle in play.
Planted.
And it's on the attack side. They have managed to retrieve it. What is left on the other side is not great. A Marshall will be decent in these moments. A Judge needs to get a little bit closer. And the Spectre's fine, but you need to get into position. Good work from Aves at least to clear one up. It does mean like they have a lot less to lose in these moments. And hey, they make it look easy in the end. An upgrade to the rifle. Only other than that was a pistol. And of course, the Marshall that's lost. It could have been a lot worse.
It definitely could have. You saw a couple of headshots landed there with classics, and completely different reality if they find another pick or two for KC. They stabilized after, I have to say, a bit of a bumpy start, Tom. Playing with a Phantom inside a smoke.
We didn't need to slow-mo that.
When you know there's players there, and they've got lots of pistols, it's a big risk. It's kind of a crazy risk, and not one I want to see taken again. Luckily, as we said, that recovered rifle didn't end up stealing the round out from under KC's feet. And so a 2-0 start, and FUT pulling out the rifles here, though.
Yeah, this is where we kind of expect a little bit more of a break back, but the operator on the other side for Levin, having that early investment into him. Now, one of the criticisms I had was he would go for these fights but not escape before the TP. This time he lands a shot straight out of there, no risk.
Overstaying his welcome definitely was a facet of we saw last time. Baha's gone walkabouts here. Breaking the trap at least, but doesn't overextend. Doesn't give away the pick. They've seen that second trap as well, waiting on middle, so a lot of Sugetsu's utility can be removed. We're still at the minute point as well. There's quite a bit for FUT to work with here. And it looks like the idea will be to move towards this A site, at least for now, leaving Yedaje behind to try to cause some serious havoc later on. And he's going to leave that trip up for a while just so they're not worried about it. And when he breaks it, he needs to pounce almost immediately.
Yeah. The tough thing here is that for FUT, they're probably going to be a little bit worried that they don't have Zeus anymore. Because it was mentioned on the desk, like, you don't really have a lot to follow him up. But if you don't have him at all,
30 seconds left.
then getting in can be awkward. But
And
they
you don't
have
know
just
where the
walked it
op
up. Retake will be in play. And again, there's a couple of very close range weapons that they're going to have to put into position. But with the flashes that they have, it shouldn't be too difficult to get in.
The decision to play super slow here from FUT makes sense. If they telegraph it too much, that AWP will be waiting. Now, the AWP has to be used on the retake. It's already been given to Shados. Levin looking to, well, I'd say lead the charge, but Shados has already taken away some of the remaining players from FUT. A very nice shot on the AWP, and although the Nano will delay, that flash and Paranoia lands perfectly. Baha only good for one, and Yedajay, a spray down of dreams needed with Levin on a 3K. He certainly did well after swapping over that AWP. KC, they're going to steam into the lead with 4 players alive as well. That's a big moneymaker round.
Yeah, it's about as bad of a start as you could hope for. In both rounds, having at least seemingly a little bit of an opportunity. The last one especially, but this one, losing 2 picks to the operator. The second one seeming just like a silly mistake, if anything. And then, well, the fact that Levin's able to clean things up with the Spectre, it's not a fantastic sign.
Let's go!
3-0. They said it in the interview earlier. Aves felt like they were doing well in their scrims and just had to try and translate that. And for FUT, well, they're no stranger to getting banged out in a first map. But I don't think after now banning their previous 2-time choice, they would have hoped that this map maybe goes a little better.
Well, yeah, I mean, an astute observation from you there, Tom. A 3-0 start, probably not in the game plan for FUT. I wonder if a 4-0 is, because I'm pretty sure we're about to hit that. And again, last time we saw this round 2 from KC, they were up against pistols. They made some risky moves. They spammed through the smoke, not quite as risky. It's already found 1 for KC, and they can play this so passive and so patiently. The only kind of concern here is just look at Sagetsu. The guy is completely by himself. And sure, he's got the cam, he's seen 2 now, backup is coming, but how do you get out of that corner? You gotta stand and fight, and that's at least a trade. A good start for FUT that turns into potentially a great round. Those rifles are recoverable too, Tom.
Yeah, Zeus and Yedajay, definitely the 2 you talk about in terms of that star power for this roster. Been able to make this one look interesting. Zeus also looking to get reaggressed, and he'll find himself a triple in the end. Baha with a wonderful little distraction to make it a bit easier for his star duelist. And just as we were starting to get worried for the side of FUT, they spring back with a huge thrifty round.
And again, it's a mistake, Tom. I mean, that certainly wasn't, but his position from Sagetsu, they had lost Garage 30 seconds ago. They'd given it up completely. I mean, at that point, I get the camera's great for the information, sure, but what are you gonna do from that corner? If it's a buy round, fair enough, but here, you know they're gonna run it down together. They're gonna look for trades, and those trades were offered up on a silver platter. FUT, they took the round, but you have to ask, to what extent were they giving it? 2 mistakes against low buys. KC, though, still able to invest. Maybe this can end up being a benefit with the economic reset. I don't know what Baha was thinking there, but I don't think we'll see that one tried again. Oh, good night, sweet dreams. Lucky he only got 1.
Oh, yeah, we're about 20 seconds into the round, and we've already lost half of the FUT members just to fight on fight on fight. Yedajay,
that's the worst reveal I've seen.
Would need to be a hero in this round, and
Spike down.
he's also going to lose an individual fight. Up against Avis for Cristalli, there really isn't a whole lot he can do from this scenario. Spike down, spotted. And in a 1 versus 4, it wouldn't be the most exciting end to the round, but I think saving the gun might be the right play.
Yeah, I think it's about the most impact that you could expect to have at this point. They couldn't even cross to get the spike back. You know, the attempted haunt to push Levin off the angle, but it bounced back and ended up in the garage. So it just really feels like FUT tripping over themselves in some of those fights. You have to wonder on a
30
short.
seconds left.
You know, your Killjoy's going down, taking space, but that walk through the wall, I think Aves saw that the barrel of the rifle for a good second before the wall came down. Then you go to garage as well. The blind playthrough, as I said, I think they're honestly lucky to only lose the 1 on that up against the judge. They thought they'd done enough with the Prowler pushing the player back, but didn't clear that close corner. Mistakes here for FUT. And I honestly, at this point, especially with the 4-1, like that's a pretty harsh reset to get hit with early on. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause coming out just to really steady the ship. There's been some mistakes.
Yeah, I think as well, like, sure, going into split, they definitely had a better performance.
I mean, brother, you're not winning that fight. I don't think you're winning that in ranked.
But they don't want to let this one get too far out of control early on.
Andy, you're so cruel. I love you, man.
Maybe he's looking for the guy in the smoke that happened to be his teammate.
Could be, yeah. Is somebody there with you? I got you. Yeah, that's a good teammate there.
Well, 4-1. Investment is back in. Convergence path available, and Levin, he's just going walkabouts. Already an aggressive push coming through from him and a teammate, and even more aggression coming out from Dosia. Looking to get right up in their face. Of course, we saw Aves go down, but that was only the run it back. It's already a two-man advantage, and Baha, well, he's wary of every angle, but Dosia's just taken the jiggle peek to get info.
That's a really nice bait setup as well. Usually when that Phoenix runs it, you don't expect that second player to be hiding around the corner, and your own Viper wall on that attack ends up adding to the confusion, just giving that little bit of extra space and fog of war for Dosia to play around. That timing awful for Levin. It is still being watched though from further back. A second player alongside Shados will be popping that smoke up, and wow, Baha again. I mean, it feels like the smokes are his enemy. He's been wrecked by a one-way that, I mean, he did see coming.
Yeah, I think just trying to catch a timing, but it's definitely not worked out. And it does feel like a lot of the domino effects for FUT in these rounds, where it's like you've lost the opener and the fight back in is reckless.
Poison orb emitting.
30 and those reckless fights just become easier and easier for the side of KC. 25 seconds. Crystalli, nice shot onto the first. Teammate a little bit further behind, and it's only going to be the 140. Dosia with 3 in the round. KC's lead extending. They're even going to retrieve themselves, the operator.
Nice shot. But this is it, right? You take down that initial ult that came out from Aves. You try to hunt him down, thinking he must be in the corner, he must be close. We can put the pressure on now. And Doja's waiting there. And this is it for KC. I feel like everything that
these couple of players, and whether or not Mr. Farland can lead them back to one of those international events.
That's the thing, a big challenge leading those rookies. And I think right now, really, when you look at Baha, when you look at Crystalli, they're not scratching that ADA captain, that cracks itch that I have for this squad.
Well, they're not playing KO, so you know.
That's also an issue, I suppose. Yeah, we'll have to fix the comps too. I think that was more to do with cracks and his ability or inability to flex. But
I would go with the latter.
I mean, he had the ability to flex, just not very well. It was better to have him on KO because he was reliable for FUT. New compositions, new looks, but the identity crisis, it hasn't been solved just yet. A 5-1 scoreline after a timeout, though. They've gotten themselves onto the B site, even with those weaker weapons, and it is against the weaker weapons that KC have been making most of the mistakes.
Oh, yeah, the thing is, Nightfall was used seemingly to take extra little bits of space. Like, FUT might not have invested much in terms of weaponry into this round, but they are investing into the ults, and they are not hitting. They haven't managed to connect them, and then Levin's just gone in with his own ult and taken 2 down with a shorty. This was meant to be a fix for FUT. Instead, it's looked like more problems, but they managed to bring it back to a 2 versus 3. The ults are gone, though. Everything that they invested into this one is gone, and actually, if Baha had the plant there, that would have been his ultimate online. Instead, they've gone a different way, and, well, that different way leaves Yettage 37 health, and yeah, he's going to get wrecked by Levin as well. 4 kills for Levin in the round, but it does feel like the 2 ults that were thrown in by FUT just, wow, they were thrown into the abyss. They're not even playing that map.
Very much so. Like, the fact of the convergence path going through, they're not holding the space that they're pushing those players out into with the convergence path, so they can simply step out of it, and oh look, there's the guy who just activated the ult. I can just kill him. No one's holding that space, and we're using our counter eggs like we're trying to fight them while the Yoru ult is just about to run out. So Levin has a chance to just strike from back there a second or 2 later, and I get it because you think the Yoru ult's about to run out, therefore they're about to come in, therefore we're about to hit them with the ult. And that's a great idea if we hit the ult where they would be coming in, but they were already past it. I mean, this is a timing issue, it's a synergy issue, and coming out of a timeout, that's not the round I want to see my team playing. Big mistakes for FUT, man. And we're 8 rounds in, KC not breaking a sweat.
No, this has been comfortable, but maybe not in necessarily the way we expected. I came into today thinking, okay, one of these teams needs to dominate if we're going to see them make a run through the lower bracket. KC are dominating.
Bring them.
Already. One of those Prowlers is gone. Zeus is looking to try and take the space. Solid utility revealed at the back of the site, but unable to capitalize on it just yet. Holding in a crossfire. Lockdown put into play. It was built up in the previous round. Flash through is nice though. And again, they're looking to deny that plant, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just got to now get out of there before they're caught by the ult. And they will.
Oh, he didn't cancel. Good thing. Mr. Fallen was waiting there. Still is. Catches one. TP over. I like this. Great reposition. He might just have flown under the radar. That's another for Mr. Fallen. The snake bite buying time, and Shados with no chance. Finally back on the board, and it's Mr. Fallen to lead by example. A second round for FUT at last.
Yeah, some individual brilliance. There's no doubt about that. Like the TP ruse that made them think he was up top in the smoke. Caught one completely off guard, and then I was worried for them, especially with this sort of like pre-take coming in. It was really nice from KC, but they just lost that one man, and that one man managed to dance his way around the site and clear out the entirety of the KC roster.
Yeah, it was definitely scary at the start. I think the second you see the flash come out for Avez and a player on the other side waiting in the smoke, you know it's done. This is going to be an early fight towards A. KC walking through the smoke to take the challenge. Zeus and Cristalli cleaning up. And for KC, well, this round's already done, essentially. Even Doja's been spotted at the one hope. Oh, nice shot, but he's revealed and dealt with just like that. Good utility, great round for Cristalli. Zagetsu, yeah, he has no choice. Honestly, they probably would have saved if Doja, in the 2v4, if Doja wasn't so far up already. Although he is creeping forward. Is this for exits? Is this to make it costly, or?
Maybe.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah,
just containing.
Just trying to do some damage. Obviously, it was only a couple of players surviving in the last round, so if he can catch them as they escape, but I would be very surprised if FUT aren't going to go in the other direction. But yeah, FUT this round, it's just patience. Their opponents tried to make the same play through the smoke they had done in the past. Avez, I don't think he flashed out that smoke though, did he? He just stepped. Or am I mistaken?
I was thinking the round before on B. Yeah, I on A long here, yeah. I think he did just walk. Maybe there was utility from further back, but to my eye, it did look like a bit of a contact with a three-man push-up.
We can see. Yeah.
Audacious, to say the least.
And that seems like the whole plan. It was just, let's see if we can walk out of the smoke and not die. I guess it was the surprise factor. And yeah, FUT were not surprised.
Well, the energy's certainly good on the other side of the stage there. FUT.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Feeling confident, perhaps, as they've started to put those rounds together. And they're also straining the economy of KC towards the end of the game. We could get an eco out of them in the next to allow for that final round bye. Hey, this was a truly awful start for FUT, but they still have plenty of time left to stabilize. They've gotten back into the game. Maybe not plenty of time, but they've gotten back just in time.
Yeah, like again, we've already seen them in the first map of the last series get absolutely battered and then play probably about, what, 50, 60 rounds from then onwards?
Yeah, like, it was the tied record, I believe, for VCT, longest game. So someone told me.
We'll get someone to fact check that.
Yeah. I don't remember. All I remember is we've had a lot of rounds before. My goodness.
But yeah, they've showed they can bounce back. If they can do it a little earlier in the game, that would be very helpful. Levin, just going to go out for information.
Three spotted.
Does spot. It does leave his teammate a little bit out and dry. Again, we've seen this quite a lot from Zeus, where he's managed to stun one of them up. TP into the corner. Is it going to be checked? Dosi has done well. Managed to escape and slow them down quite a bit. I think that's a team flash.
It got him out. Hey, it got him out. It flashed the guy on short. It's all it had to do. Unfortunately, Doja still falls. The shot from Havez, though, proving to be clean. Perhaps clean enough to get them the round, but the TP from Mr. Fallen over to the C site. They'll find him very quickly, but nothing they can do about that plant. They see him go towards long as well, but he's faked that time. He's walked towards long to let that extra pulse of Cypher's ultimate reveal him, and then tucked away in the corner the one way as well. This is, oh, it was beautiful. It really was, but now they know.
Made sound. Maybe trying to bait them with the TP, see if he can get himself an individual fight, and he can! In fact, Aves was trying to jump, and instead he's the one to get caught at the end. It's a Red Bull clutch from Mr. Fallen. That's 2 rounds you can put down to him completely.
Crazy rounds out of him. Was it 4K, and then this one here. They really looked like they were in trouble. Aves lighting up those players as they came through the choke point. But he got lost in the sauce there, man. It looked like both players calling that they'll bait for the other.
I really wanted the Zeiss reaction. I knew he was going to be like, oh God, pain.
Yeah, you know, the timing a little off. The comms maybe a little off too.
Honestly, I just hope the Mini's getting the telestrator after this one. I think he's going to have so many rounds to hyper-analyze.
Yeah, that jump around from Aves.
Is he keeping up the positivity from last week? I know he was trying really hard to be positive last week.
I don't think he can get more than a week out of that. I'm surprised. If he made it to the end of the week, I'd be shocked. 6-4. KC came in leading with a commanding lead. In fact, in almost every round, it looked like FUT. They couldn't answer up. They couldn't find anything. And then now there are weaknesses in play for KC. Let's not mince words there, but the momentum is back in play for the side of FUT. They've bounced back. Individuals looking better. Cristalli's starting to have a lot of rounds where he's heated up. Just as we criticize Mr. Fallen too. 8 and 7, but 2 massive rounds that really have turned the tide. The timing here, though, if he goes up through long, I think he might be dead to Aves. Aves crept into this corner with... Okay.
30 seconds left.
The timing gifted from the gods doesn't get him anything. So now a 2v4 retake and FUT. Oh, they're only up against a Bulldog and a Marshall, so it should be a very easy one.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where... Obviously, you don't want to give too much over in terms of orbs, but your opponents aren't particularly close. You've got nothing to lose in terms of weaponry. Might as well give this one a go. Might as well try and see if you can find a gun for yourself or at least remove some of theirs. Ultimately, it's not going to affect too much unless you can actually steal the round away. And Yetege just playing very patient. Even takes down Shados, leaves it all on to just Sugetsu, and he's just decided he's going to be the raid boss. The other 3 hiding back towards long, playing for the post. That's now going to be 6-5 from a 6-1 damning scoreline. I'll be honest, I was already looking at the next map. We might end this half 6-6.
I mean, again, the reality of how we got here being that KC on the 2 anti-ecos looked kind of shaky. They made mistakes, they over-aggressed, and when FUT were able to group up and hit, it worked consistently. But the fact that we end up here, the fact that in every buy round, KC looked dominant. They were shutting them down. We had moments where, sure, there were mistakes on FUT, but it just seemed like the mice weren't plugged in.
Placing swarm grenade.
Somehow we could be neck and neck leaving this half, but money was saved over by KC. Invested into an op, it's being blocked off. Sugetsu traded in that initial fight, but Levin is going walkabouts. He's got a gate crash. He can get out of here. So he stands his ground, looking to take one shot, one player down, and leave this site with an advantage. The ult sees 3 and now 4. They know the hit's coming in on C.
That counter ult used just to try and slow anybody towards the spawn. He's managed to get behind them, but is obviously smoked off, and now Aves already taking space and somehow manages to just take everyone down. That's a little bit of help, and he's even going to pop his ult just to flex at the end. But after a 6-1 start, KC are at least, Mitch, going to go in with the lead.
Hey, listen, I've been confused before by the convergence path. It didn't just speed boost Aves, did it? My guy looked like it. He ran in with a molly in hand, swinging wide, looking phenomenal. What a half by KC, but 7-5 in the end, a close one. Let's hear a little bit from Levin, who's been a bit
to get himself into position quite a lot of the time, but I want to see how he's going to work on the attack, because that's the synergy between him and Aves. That's where I need to see them working well together when they get in for those executes. And also I want to put a highlight on Baha, because now moving on to that Killjoy defense, he's again going to play a big part, but I kind of need to see a bit more from the numbers.
Well, for KC, an attack side, slow shift towards this A site. Levin a little further back. They've done the work early. The turret, though, plays as the second man and at least secures the information for FUT. Cristalli pulls back to site. Baha rotates in. And the 2 rookies on that defensive side.
Bring them down.
Little do they know, they've got a big challenge coming their way. The entirety of KC, and one of the problems That flash is going to be a play for Abez. They can get in that smoke, or they can fight their way out of that one way, especially with the wall up. It'd be so difficult to dodge that blind.
Yeah, I was about to say, the wall, it would actually have helped them with the one way, so I'm glad to see that the Viper went back down again. I guess just being toggled by the other side. KC have decided to go back towards long because of that one-way. Cristalli in the corner already left completely blind, but they haven't managed to get in time, and by that point, he's already able to see again. Eventually, is cleared out, but now Yetajay's in position. Mr. Fallen, he'll go down as well. His pistol's looking very good unless Yetajay can play spoiler. Hiding within the smoke, burst, goes his way, he's able to duck back out of there, and all of the players are actually trapped within the same position. It goes down to just one, and the trade is there from Yetajay. Him and Zeus combined, and FUT have a pistol from a 2v4.
Oh, a sensational round. That has got them back in the game. I mean, their foot was in the door after that resurgence in the first half, but now, well and truly locked in.
30 seconds left.
They should be back to neck and neck. And the thing is, individuals were not there. And you highlighted sure Baha's being a little shaky, but seeing Zeus, seeing Yetajay pop off like this again, Cristalli's had a lot of rounds towards the end of that first half. They now feel like all the momentum's there. Look how loud they were getting. Finally getting to hear Yetajay scream again. For KC, Classics, no chance to really disrupt this at all. FUT have gone in for a heavy investment. But that future-proofs them so long as they don't get caught off guard by a blitz out of these free weapons.
This has been the worry with KC so far. Like, I think back to their Breeze versus Liquid. They're winning these big rounds. They had crazy clutches. I was like, okay, they won 3v5s in a row. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they started losing. And they never came back. Like it was like the momentum shifted and that was the game over. And it is feeling like the momentum has already shifted here. Mr. Fallen, he don't give a damn. He's gonna run straight through that utility and blink and you miss it. FUT a level again.
That's the other thing about a team like FUT. You know, the reality is, for Mr. Fallen, leading two rookies, it's going to take some time, but once they do hit their stride, they've got the good core three there that has an incredible amount of experience under their belt. Those kind of teams, they're not easy to crumble, whereas for KC, it feels like that's sort of their go-to.
They're the ones that has more tenured players, like players that have been around longer, players that, sure they haven't been together, but you kind of expect maybe a little bit more resilience. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe this is where the tide will turn. Of course, you can lose a pistol, you could lose a second, but on a map that for KC has always been pretty good, and a lot of it is down to this man and his Phoenix, expectations are always going to be there. And the buy, well, they didn't lose many players in the last round, Mitch. It's just the FUT are very happy to play the SMGs.
A few spotted, but Abez gets the volley down in time. He won't be crunched in the corner, but FUT come out swinging from Garage, knocking over a few before falling. The damage still going to favor that defensive side, even with those weaknesses in play. 11 one-shot, even to Cristalli with that Sheriff, who now is grouped up with Zeus, looking to move towards the C site. Sugetsu, the man holding the line. The shot's good on both accounts. Mr. Fallen. Well, he's led them to victory a few times, this time stinger in hand. And the player tucked in this close corner. He knows he's there now as well. It should be a freebie for Levin, as it proves to be. KC back in the lead. They don't give it up for long.
Yeah, it was one where I think this round definitely would have been a lot more dangerous if it wasn't for Sugetsu. Because I actually don't think the swing there was basically bait the pistol, try and get the trade, but he was just too clean with those initial shots. I like the initial trap play. I think Dosia does well to just sort of deny too much of an advantage. And interestingly, it's going to be KC, it looks like, to take a timeout. And I will say, KC, I think, are the only team in the league that makes me question whether it's them calling a timeout. Because that happened.
KC.
Clearly I needed one.
I will say that, you know, I agree with you. I think that looking at the last matchup, I think that 7-1 was on Breeze as well, wasn't it? That they were setting one up
the same game.
They call a timeout and they crumble. I do think that here, I agree with you, this makes more sense. Like, it's 8-7, they won the round, they lost 2, win 1, it's all normal.
And also, like, Shados' reaction, I was sort of like him swinging his arms up in the air. It's like,
I mean, it had to be Doja and what Sugetsu getting really nice 2Ks, like really quick, pacey double kill. If that's a trade, which a lot of the time from what we've seen it would be, you lose that round and FUT steamroll you in this early half, run away with the lead, and with the shoe on the other foot like that, we know that often that is going to, no pun intended, that is going to favor the team that finds that momentum late. But so yeah, a timeout I think makes perfect sense for KC, taking that moment to steady up now. They're coming up against an AWP on C, they've avoided, and Avez's ult clears a lot of space for free towards this back B site. They'll get a plant out of this, almost without a doubt, but a pick? I didn't think they'd get away with that.
No, that was Mr. Fallen, maybe not expecting him to have enough range on the ult. For the remaining players, this is already starting to call into question if this is worth going for. You've got an operator on the retake. You've not even made it back into the actual site yet. And what they don't realize is their opponents aren't even playing it. They are all in the post plant. This is all time that's being wasted for them to get back in. And with the wraparound already coming through, Avez just going to kill him straight up with the molly. The hot hands does the work. They managed to get a couple back, but even still, getting onto this is not going to be easy, and saving the operator becomes the point of call. It's KC to immediately extend their lead a little bit more, while the remaining two will at least hold on to their guns.
That 2-round lead now. FUT being put in their place, losing those back-to-back rounds. The timeout with a round after it, a breath of fresh air for KC. And the hot hands kill is just ridiculous. Zeus expecting him to swing at any moment, but it was a little too low for those kind of shenanigans.
Nice pause.
Nice pause. There you go. The praise to Zeish. There's FUT now. For now, at least that's translated to rounds in their favor. 9-7. An AWP in the hands of Zeus. A rifle for Yedege. But the rest are left with pistols. The Paupers fight alongside the Prince, and they're thriving, at least in the early fight. A nice connection by Baha. But a plant seems inevitable for KC nonetheless.
Spike planted.
Still, that damage could come back to haunt them.
Well, it seems like if at first you do succeed, still try again. They've gone for the same take into the B site. This time there is a flank coming through, but it is incredibly slow from Cristalli. I'll be honest with you, if he keeps at this pace, the round will have ended by the time he gets there. And he also only has a classic, so he definitely has the element of surprise. They managed to get it to half, and actually, never mind, he might have just timed it to perfection! Mr. Farley ends up defusing, and Cristalli gets 2 with a classic! Thoughts, Mitch?
No, none. I'm good. I was just kind of waiting for the replay so I could experience this round without an out-of-body experience in the middle. How the fiddlesticks does that guy get away with that? Nice! The slowest flank of all time with nothing but a classic, and he happens to get the angle on the 2 players whose sole job it is to stop the defuse, to win the round. Getting them both. Well, hey clearly, hell of a game.
Clearly you should buy the FUT Classic. So there you go. This is going to be the advert. That's all FUT need to run from now on, is you can win rounds in VCT with just a FUT Classic and Mr. Fallen defusing. Come on, speaking of Mr. Fallen, there goes Levin. Shut down within seconds. This game has been a back and forth, but it hasn't felt close, if that makes sense. Like, at either times, one team has been dominating, and I wonder if this is the start of FUT getting back to that sort of streak once again.
Well, they've got the pick, but KC spread the net as a response. 50 seconds left. The noise made towards B. Flashes, wall, molly, hot hands. It's all sent through. But FUT aren't moving. They're not buying it. And now in comes Anders Fury, the true intention now revealed. Oh no! What has happened here? One of the worst reveals back-to-back from Cristalli in this map, but then he gets 2. after a massive whiff, and Garage Cristalli is somehow holding the line. He fell flat on his face to start this round, but he has a 3K under his belt. There's only 15 seconds for Shados to get to the site, plant the spike, generational fumble needed, and Cristalli catches them all. He's on his feet, and FUT are on level footing with KC. I don't know what I'm watching. I really don't. Like, the reveal and that spray from Garage, I thought, oh, well, that's the round gone.
The thing is, so his Nightfall was great.
Yeah, sure.
Then he gets blinded, so he completely whiffs. Like,
don't you dare blame that on the blind.
He was panicking, all right?
He could see where the roof was.
People panic sometimes. Like, we forget he's a youngster on the stage, you know? It's his first split.
That's why he immediately triple tapped E when he threw the on.
The thing is, you would have done that, but got 0 kills. So.
Oh, without it, I would have hit the reveal. I would have hit the reveal and hit nobody afterwards. No, that was unbelievable. Cristalli, again, I came in today, I said, Baha and Cristalli, they're not scratching the itch. Well, now I only have one person to report because Cristalli looks unreal.
You're really on your hater arc today.
I'm just being honest. I have always been a massive out-of-captain fan, though. So you have huge, I know it sounds weird with this comp, but in general, you have huge boots to fill.
Yeah, and you can only fill them with a foot.
Be right back.
Well, here comes the execute in towards the A site, and Zeus is already going to be blinded off. Now they don't know that actually there's a change in direction. Flash through on B, and Yedije only just about makes it out with his life. Paranoia will steal his vision. Sugetsu steals his life with a few more following. The guardian of the B site, and he's letting nobody through that smoke. Finally, Zeus steps in to shut him down, and the spike still hasn't been planted. The pressure's still on, but Levin holding from far back's giving them a chance, and one that they won't soon relinquish. KC still with the lead, and the maddening rounds continue.
That's just nuts. The fact that they were all revealed off the back of it, and then Sugetsu just almost with like a miracle spam manages to just wreck them all through the smoke. I don't think he expected two to be anywhere near that close. We spoke about him in his hero rounds. Like, I feel like you're going to get to the end of kickoff and maybe look at his overall statistics and go, oh, the Sugetsu's fallen off. If you actually watch the rounds in which he's winning for them, you definitely wouldn't agree with that. Zeus is going to go walkabouts. Early flash dodged, but he can't correct quick enough. And I believe that was the only gun they had.
Yes, indeed. Unless my eyes deceive me. I see lots of pistols on the ground. Not too many left in the hands of the FUT players. And now only Cristalli, 4K previously, was pretty impressive. But
so what I need him to do is I need to throw his horn into a wall and then get an ace.
Yes, if he can reveal himself, and then he should be fine. That's what we've seen so far. But look, if he finds this ace, I think we'll just forget all about cracks. Take his picture off the wall.
It's not very nice. Well, at least remember him when KO is played. Here we go.
Flawless.
Damn, so close. In-zone flawless. Again, I said it. There's been a lot of rounds where it's felt like this game hasn't been particularly close. The start for KC, the streak of rounds for FUT, and now a back and forth of 2 rounds apiece. And this one, in-zone flawless in its fashion. But this is where FUT will get a buyback up. And hey, if the pattern's anything to go by, they're about to win 2 rounds in a row. They will lose the map 13-11, unfortunately, as the script is showing, but...
MIT sent you an invitation, Tom. Pattern recognition off the charts.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't read, so I wasn't able to tell.
couldn't RSVP. Oh. KC, after a huge lead to start this game off, they may be set to just take this across the line, but there are definitely challenges. No Hunter's Fury online for Shados. Meanwhile, you've got a lockdown for Baja, so a lot of potential to play retake into sites. Unlikely to be the A site, considering the pit's already been put into play. The only problem with this is that you have your pit up, but you still need to commit those 2 players towards that A site. Can't just let them walk around you. At least to start, there's some pressure put on towards A long, but I mean, it's just a decoy. Then a drone sent, then the ult. Okay, now we're starting to signal a bit more that we're really looking to pressure the A site. But the TP's taken. And we're all the way to the C side. Oh, hold on, Levin's going to run out in the open. He's going to stick on site. And a flash deep, but no follow-up. They just take it for map control. That's fine.
Well, the run it back was kind of already cleared everything out, so no reason for him to TP anywhere else. Baja setting up ready with the lockdown, which will force them off the site, but they have a post plant that doesn't necessarily need much more. I'm looking at the Nightfall, which could make things awkward. Levin, he's just trying to stick around, maybe get one and escape. No, there's no escape method. He was just looking to try and do damage, and damage he has done to get to just about getting away with things here. And his luck's going to be important. They're running through to try and deal with the Nightfall. Mr. Farland tapping it halfway, but it's Aves. He kicked off the round. He'll finish it, and KC just one away from taking the map that, well, if you looked at how they started, maybe they should have done a while ago.
Yeah, you would have thought we're on map 2 already if you tuned in for the first quarter or so. And yeah, Levin didn't have a gate crash. He had no way out, but he realized, I can disrupt, I can make this costly, and finding 2 is all he needed to do.
Close. Like,
even if Aves goes down there, though, Sugetsu is in garage and is about to swing in, so there's that extra layer to it as well, where not all the eggs were in that one basket.
Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, unfortunately for FUT, they were. That was a lockdown, a Viper's Pit, and Nightfall all used. They didn't manage to take the round. In fact, a lot of ultimates were used in that last round. And then they also have the economic troubles. A Judge, a couple of Guardians. In fact, light shields on everybody other than Yetajay, making this sniper the equivalent of an operator. Levin's managed to get himself quite far. Now, he does obviously have the gate crash on the other side, but he's waiting to see, okay, is someone going to jump spot? Is someone going to look for information? They are, just not on his side of the map. And, well, they've gone walkabouts and found Aves.
Look how close Levin is. He could catch him on the run back. He's holding the angle. And there it is. Spreading the net wide. And it's a big catch with Cristalli down.
Oh, the double back.
Oh, there we go. Got there in the end for Sugetsu, and the A site completely gone. That's the other thing with Cristalli down. You've got one guy to watch 2 angles, and if you include the flank, it's 3. Never really going to happen. This should be the end of map 1, and FUT having to bounce back on split. Even then, they put up one hell of a fight. But with elimination from kickoff on the line, they'll fight every battle that they're offered. A 2v4, a 2v3 now. It's looking doable.
Yeah, it's not a bad start. Yetajay walking up is all about to fade, but that leaves an opening. A big opening, in fact! And now that leaves just one. Dosia versus Yetajay. The man coming over from Pacific to take them with a lead, and he's hit the headshot, but he's not managed to get the kill. A 2v4 that keeps FUT alive.
Again, we said it earlier, this is a squad that certainly won't be given up until that final bell is rung. Go until the buzzer, and my God, what a set of shots coming out of Yetajay.
It does feel silly though, like Levin being that far forward, when you know that the Viper wall is up and there's someone watching it from a deeper angle, like that just seems like silly mistakes coming out of the side of KC.
We're going to timeout called for that exact reason.
Shados was just holding too deep an angle, but that just needs to be communicated. Levin takes 2 steps back, he doesn't die there, and that never happens.
I think the thing is for Shados as well, as that new IGL coming in, you've got a lot to learn, and I think that is the hardest part, is in those post plans, because they're the least rehearsed. In sort of, you end up in that moment, okay, what utility do we have? What positions do we have? What map control have we had to give up? Where are they fighting? You have to answer all these questions and then come up with a good plan on the spot real quick. He's busy doing that, and so you end up dropping an angle or something that you would be watching if someone else was doing that thinking. That will change over time with experience. For now, those are the things they have to contend with. But we can see that those more rehearsed parts that executes those plays and giving players a little bit of space to thrive, that part of the game plan is being executed pretty flawlessly by KC. 2 chances to lock in their map pick. And again, with the stakes being this high, you had so many chances to fall and falter, but now down to just 1. This series will send one of these teams home. This is KC's 2 chances to make sure it isn't them.
I think as well, like, KC's expectations. You have a huge fan base, but also just the players that were brought in. Like Levin was definitely up there as one of the best rookies of last year. Dosia made a
30 seconds
huge impact over in Pacific. And this is getting late on the time. 25 seconds left, and while the run through has found nothing, it's all about the push on the other side of the map. I'm getting a little bit nervous about that convergence path. It's already being put in. It has missed, but even still, they've got to try and bypass the player at the back of the site. Everybody now set up and ready to go. 7 seconds, and they need to get that plant in. They need to get it in now. It's being stuck, but I don't think it's going to matter anyway. Zeus, it was irrelevant how much time was left. He's managed to take the ball down, and KC just too slow to get in. That's an 11th. And that's now an opportunity for FUT to take us to OT. I don't know, have they played any OT so far this tournament?
No, I think probably not experienced with that sort of stamina drain, Tom, you know? It'll be tough, such quick matches.
Maybe we can ask Pansy and Hypok if they've seen them play any OTs.
They started planting after 4 seconds, unless I've misread that twice. I'm 99% sure they had no time to plant anyways.
I thought you could only count to 3.
There.
But I saw the number 3
okay,
before the plant started, so I was like, hey, that's the number I know. So yeah, there was a few errors there for sure, and now Shados and Aves tagged heavily by the spray from Mr. Fallen. Oh yeah, he can. Well, he can actually ult and heal himself up properly, but
and now use the blaze
or the other way around.
Use all your utility.
Fine. Maybe let's focus on the ult before we waste our wall on healing.
No. Who needs a wall?
KC a man down already. Shados being, I mean, he was 2 away from Hunter's Fury coming into this post plant that could have completely turned the tide in their favor, and now they're
1 away.
Wading through this. Yeah, 1 away, fantastic. Yeah, if they can res him, maybe he'll get the orb on the plant.
Joke's over! You're dead! Watch your
Here it is. The run it back put into play. Look how far back FUT are. They've learned their lessons. It was Mr. Fallen who got caught out by this before. Bah's basically in the same position, but
my time to jump.
Has that little bit more room to fall back. And now KC, the ones with the pressure on their shoulders, they have to find a pick here. They're a man behind in the post plant.
Oh no, he didn't know there was a second player. Baha's starting to spring to life. Dosia and Sugetsu. They need to try and win themselves a 2v5. They almost lost it on a 2 versus 4, and they will end up in OT. A nice attempt from Dosia, but it is FUT streaking rounds together. I've said it multiple times, it felt like a one-sided game, but at different points of the map, and we've now ended up in overtime.
It's actually unreal as well that even with the headset on, with Tom shouting, with gunshots there, I can still hear Yedege shouting from the
he's
stage.
definitely louder than me.
He's so loud, man. But yeah, Baha's rotate here was so key, and the fact is, that should have been checked, right? It takes you a 1/4 of a second to spin your mouse around and see, is there a dude behind me? Kind of the point of the old 11 came in there like a horse with blinkers on. It was like he was in a...
One of them's really pumped up, and then guy's like, yes, been here a lot.
He's like, we shouldn't have been OT. Should have been regulation. But yeah, that was a bit shaky, to say the least. KC, 12-12. Again, I look at FUT as the side favored, not just because, you know, momentum, the fact that they bounced back from a map they looked out of, but
nothing. This game.
Start with KC, it certainly hasn't.
It seems like the momentum has flipped at least 5 times in this game.
But I think the main thing for me is the fact that Crystalli's the one top fragging. My guy's looking unbelievable, the rookie.
Well, he's stunned again. And they're going to find him. See you later, Sugetsu. Shados trying to hold the line. He's looking for that TP, and he's found him. Not quite enough on the 3rd, but he's done well. Dosia into the corner.
Yeah.
Baha has an idea of where his opponent will be. But in the meantime, his teammate has retreated. Bear in mind, Yeteshe has clearly been dinked up. 10 health. And he's making the steps to see if he can pull someone into a fight with his teammate while he goes and gets the spike down, which he will get down. There is no one on this side of the map.
Yeah, at this point, you know, 1 away from the Viper's pit. The plant now will lock it in, but getting it done here, you're going to do it. Why not? But it might equal the odds at best. The thing is, Baha knows he has to take a risk here. And going to B, watching the play, sitting in garage, beautiful. And now we go deep in towards the spawn. Baha has that little bit of extra space to maybe fall back into, to maybe play into.
He'd normally maybe play behind the wall, though, but he can't play behind it because it's so spammable. That's the problem. There's not really any safe space for him to play into. Baha tried his best, and now Yedege hiding outside. Yeah, 10 HP. It's 1 bullet needed. KC, I feel like a FUT ever taken the lead in this game. They brought in level plenty of times, but each time KC have reclaimed the lead the second they level it up.
Yeah, I actually think you're spot on. I don't think they've had the lead. It's constantly been a game of catch-up for FUT, and then they fall behind the second that they get sights on the coattails of KC. That was a nice flick back from Shados. You can see him putting the pieces of the puzzle together as well. He's TP'd, smoke up top, maybe he's there. Wait a second.
1 health.
Spins to his back. And yeah, for Aves, 1 health was enough to survive that. Shots traded, but he had that extra HP. KC, another chance to close out this map, move us on to split, where they'll have 2 chances to send FUT home, send them out a kickoff, maybe out a clash as well.
It's all right. FUT always come back when they're at a deficit, so no need to worry if you're a Turkish fan. Oh, Zeus is about to come under a lot of pressure, though. The trade's back effective. Aves doing the work once again.
That could be it.
And Sugetsu, he's caught a massive time, and he's heard rotations, but this is the problem they had before. You've heard rotations from one player, you haven't heard rotations of the second. Does Baha even check this angle, though? I don't know why he would. No expectation of Sugetsu to be there. And you almost have to wonder, do the other players start to question, okay, do we just go back to B? It doesn't seem like it. And the drone is not seen either of them.
Look at the freeze from KC now. They saw nothing A, but they made noise with the drone. They think players could be close. They could rotate in. They could push. FUT could be confused and wonder where they are. Well, now they found them. The snake's waiting in the grass, and it's a big bite from KC as they take a map away from FUT. Their pick under their belt, and now
Navi doesn't necessarily fill me with confidence, and a lot of the problems arose on that attack. So, again, can they set up Levin properly? Can he take the space that's needed? And more importantly, can FUT stop them and survive?
What I find most surprising, the fact that Tejo not really played too much here. KC already taking the advantage with the early push towards the top of A ramp. Levin's found the opening onto Zeus.
The other chase is almost dead.
Well, the pace pickup seems to have halted here. 1:20 on the clock as the attack side have an opening pick. They have control. They have no need to make any further pressure. FUT have rotated in, but sooner or later, they have to send players back to clear all those gaps, or send players forward to confirm the forces are still here.
Toxin screen down.
Oh, flash alongside utility. Nice counter stun, and actually Baha has managed to bring this back once again. Shados puts it further in their favor. Yedajay's just checking the other side of the map just in case, but he'll eventually look to wrap back around, and the heal will make things a little bit less dangerous for the side of KC. Are they going to walk spawn?
Yes, the smoke. Pulled back, player spotted for Mr. Fallen, and he runs to the A side. He's got backup here, and Yedajay is already rotated in that heaven position, perfect for his 10 HP. Nicely tucked in the corner. It's a setup from FUT, a trap that's sprung perfectly to put 1-0 on the board. And that pistol round, a very valuable step in the right direction for this defensive side.
Yeah, I think what the main point I'd make about this series as a whole is I think that the setups that KC have are better, like their initial plans. The mid-round calling from Mr. Fallen is way better than what we're seeing from KC. Because like the early start there, they killed out Zeus. I think Zeus ends up stunning his own teammate, and Yedajay almost dies. And then just the adaptation to have a decent piece of utility in place, a crossfire that worked well, and a reposition from Mr. Fallen was far better from a disadvantageous position from FUT.
So one of the things I was going to say is, like, for KC, bringing in the Tejo, this is, I'm pretty sure, the only Tejo that we've seen.
Okay.
Not bad for Mr. Fallen, yeah, a little eco frags. But we don't really see Tejo played when it comes to this map, and it's kind of surprising to me that that's the case when you think about how many close little angles there are for players to rat out in, and how effective they can be for clearing out, not just with the salvos. Obviously the post plant with those is huge as well, but your drone that goes through, think of the ultimate and how many almost inescapable angles there are, how much pressure you can put players under with that on this map in particular, where everything boils down to a laneway that's essentially a little too small for that ultimate, so the ult will always cover it. It's a very effective agent, and I'm honestly surprised to see that no one else has picked it up. That said, unless I'm mistaken, they haven't won with him, any of the times. KC have played 3 times and lost all 3 with him.
Yeah.
So,
An in-zone flawless coming in for FUT. We'll give them a nice setup in terms of the economy. But again, they use a lot of SMGs in their second rounds, which, yeah, it makes it a lot more likely that they'll get something. But then in these rounds, they need to pull off a lot to slide through. Well, Dosia's done well to hold the line. The rest of the team are making their way through towards Mr. Fallen, and this time his spam won't quite be enough. And in fact, it's possible we go from one in-zone flawless to another. Crystali on the other side of the map. And KC looking like they're going to get onto the board in clean fashion.
Yeah, poor Doja's left on 5 HP watching the flank while everyone else gets healed up. He's being robbed. And now he's given the spike. Yep. It's okay, though. He got a heal. He went from 5 to 7. So they saved that little bit at the end.
Every little helps.
Which is nice. It's good to feel respected by your teammates. The priorities here.
Spike planted.
But either way, it is only one player. And he's, I think, just being spotted by Shados. Yeah, well, that certainly appears to point in that direction. All chance to Crystali. I don't think he's getting anything done. But damage would be nice. Everyone has a rifle here.
He's burning utility.
That's true, yeah. Listen, the cost is running up.
There you go.
Weapon here.
That's at least
Yep, sprinted and diffused.
He's being flanked on. Now, the player behind is very low, but versus a knife, not going to be too difficult for Dosia. 2-1, a relatively clean round in the end for KC, and what was a fantastic start from Dosia. You're seeing that individual brilliance, that raw aim that he has. And as you sort of mentioned, you could see the awkwardness created by those salvos, forcing players into awkward fights.
This is it. I feel like we'll see FUT, though, when they go to the attack side, just off how the series has gone so far. That's where they can find the most advantages in terms of playing off of those mid-round calls, pushing and pulling KC's defense. But on the attack, where things are in KC's control in terms of the pace, and more when they go for those executes, which often on split, you know, you got to get through those choke points. It's an effective way. That's where they can put that rehearsed game plan.
They're doing it on B as well with other util. They've put the orb all the way into the back of where Mr. Fallen likes to stand. So in one of the first rounds, we see him go for those early spams, but now he's got an orb literally sat at his feet. So the second they look to go around that angle, he can't fight anymore because otherwise he's going to take the decay.
And not be able to see, which wouldn't be ideal.
Scout
Dog's gone through, player confirmed to be in position. And it looks like KC won't be deterred. Of course, they've got another dog, so to speak. But that drone will be sent out after a bombardment. Both salvos sent into play. Mr. Fallen having to move, gets his one way up, pulls back the smoke though. And Baha and Yedege are here to play. Found themselves massive advantages in the late play up by Doja. It's going to be watched at this point. FUT have got boots on the ground, and sure, Doja gets the kill. But he's left on 8 HP. A spam will be more than enough to take him down.
Player standing.
He's caught in the open. 11 alone. A save with 20 seconds. Seems like the most likely play. Certainly the most economical.
I do wonder if those direct hits are going to be difficult for KC if they're pushing into the Mr. Fallen setup. Because even though they made things very awkward for him, the fact that you can have a Gravwell, I think a Snakebite coming in from heaven as well, it just means that you're running invulnerable and you're being pulled back and you have players holding onto the cross. So I do think KC are going to have, like the hit's not bad. I think you just need to force a few players to maybe fight into mid or maybe go for some of these other peaks, because this almost seemed a little bit too easy as they ran into the site.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, agreed. FUT not really finding themselves under pressure. And again, when you look at how Mr. Fallen was dealt with there, they had a first piece of utility to push him back. Then they had the salvos to mean he couldn't even play behind the smoke, and yet support was there. And I think that's just a matter of KC adding that bit of a mid play to it. Oh my goodness, okay, I was thinking a slow mid play, work that control, but they've come in swinging and fallen flat in their face. Alves out of the round. And a 5v4, look, you'll trade that mid control for a man advantage any day.
Oh yeah, Baha's been great so far. I said I want to see what he's got to sort of take that Viper away from Yedege, but the Snakebite in the last round, the crossfire he created, and then the early opener in this one. Cosmic Divide going to be thrown through. It's mainly whether or not we see that utility burst, and it's meant to be a bit of a ruse. The ruse has worked out, but the trade backs are good. Mr. Fallen still keeps the advantage with his squad, knowing that the others have likely crossed in. He's taken quite a lot of early space and definitely has to be a little careful of the potential flash that could come through the divide. But he'll just wait back.
Oh, the flash was used there. Now in terms of utility, KC only have a snake bite and a bit of heal left to work with. They knew Cosmic Divide was up, so they play on the backside. To reveal the snake bite, everything thrown through by KC. It was the snake bite in return, but Sagetsu walks in and they're just holding it, waiting further back. Shados up close. He's going to go in for the knife. He hasn't landed it. Halfway already. He's failing to stop the defuse. That Cosmic Divide not quite as close as he expected it to be. And ends up looking a bit foolish while FUT push up to 4.
Yeah, I think it was put in so that you could just about see that they were defusing, but it means if someone goes right on the edge, you're not close enough to knife them. And then, I think he knows that Crystalli's on the other side. At least manages to bait him out. But I like a lot of the sort of re-aggression we're seeing out from FUT. This is an amazing camera angle. Oh, a good reaction shot.
Mr. Fallen has no idea what's going on either. He's got his back turned while a blade's just swinging at him multiple times. Lucky to survive, but KC not feeling so lucky down on that stage. 4-1 down. They were the ones to start the last map with this kind of confidence. Now, look, the good thing, as you pointed out, Tom, you can see that momentum shift several times in the last map.
Yeah.
But this is FUT's choice. And for now, at least, it seems to be hard to detach their foot from the pedal down below. It's
nice.
All gas, no brakes. Thank you.
Because they re-aggressed towards mid, that the two players never made it out of main. I feel like at least baiting out a bit of that util needs to be a point of call, but it seems like they're going to go right back to. There's a very direct hit once again.
Yeah, trying it in a different spot. Why not? This is the round to experiment. It's not the round to give the op an angle like that. A gap in the wall that's come back to find massive value for FUT. And the op keeps on going. 3 kills from 2 shots. Aves and Dosha, they came into this round to test out that A hold. I don't know what they found that they can look to exploit in the future. And well, that should seal the deal. It's only 1 though. Zeus is coming in with his classic. That's a dirty move.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that on one side of the map, you've got Mr. Fallen and the Viper util, and on the other side of the map, you've got Zeus. And honestly, for me, that's perfect balance. Like, you've got to either fight the most skilled player in the server, or you've got to fight the smartest. And right now, it seems like KC have an answer for neither of them. Of course, this round wasn't much expectation. My worry is, I feel like we see this as a trope for a lot of teams where they go for a heavy A execution on an eco round. It doesn't work. You go, that didn't work. And then you go back to what you were doing before. And so every buy round has just been B aggression, which is now going to be worse because there's also a Viper's Pit.
Yeah.
And now the double duelist is on the other side of the map because probably Mr. Fallen's gone, well, they've got to change something up here, right?
I think the reality is, you know, that middle control was what KC needed to solve. Like, coming into this round, you think that the direct A, direct B doesn't work. The B splits haven't worked because of the mid control. It was too pacey last time. They have to try to work that control. They have to try to catch those players off. And in the round where I think they're starting to realize that, you have a pit in play. And what do you do about that? Now we have to look somewhere else. And it looks like a fake will be the idea. Moving towards the B site, we've already seen the dog put through. What an opening from Sagetsu. That should fully sell it. Ooh. Seekers sent in, noise being made.
Crystalli went back.
But the A site is still held with 2. Yeah. Numbers are still here for FUT. They haven't fell for the fake.
Yeah, and he's still got Nightfall in play. Timing here is going to be everything. Prowler goes through, and that will already catch one. The Viper's Pit still needing to be cleared if Sagetsu's going to join the action. In fact, though, Baha is walking to the edge of it. This is a very risky position to play, and he's going to walk out. Just gives the game away. Maybe wanted to try and see if there was anybody mid, but now they go back in the other direction. That spot is clear and leaves a massive opening. Yedajay waiting on the edge of the smoke. Salvo's being expended. He's going to have heard everything behind him, but clearly locked in on the other side of the map. Crystalli's done well, but this flank coming in so late, so little time, just trying to clear them out, but the hold is enough. A nice shot from Dosia and Mr. Fallen. On the wrong side of the map. It looked like for a moment the stars were going to align, but a walk through the pit ended the round.
Yeah, it's not a play I can get behind most of the time, but here I honestly feel like less so. Mr. Fallen's in a 1 versus 3 after that shot, but time is gone. It has to be. And a wide swing confirms it. Triple swung to close the round. Yeah, man, I mean, for Baja, the way these rounds have played out, Tom, there hasn't been many rounds where KC don't have that player waiting in mid. And the only example I can think of is the one where they were eco full playing A. Other than that, there's always that late lurk. It's either a direct play right at the start or very, very, very slow. And the fact that we walked through a pit against that,
take up.
this gave the opportunity for them, whether they're going A or B, to rotate back in the other direction, opened up so much map control. I think that was just a tiny mistake that's come back to potentially cost them heavily, but still, that was a small mistake in a round. That was 5-2 on the board. Still a strong lead for FUT, a full buy on the back of it. An op in play for both sides. I feel like the attack side op, it's much harder to get the value out of it here, especially with the comp they're against. It feels like a lot of the time when KC have tried to break ground, there's always a smoke on the other side. And with an op in hand, that's going to make that quite difficult.
Scout, just...
Oh, okay. He's just walked up. He's just walked up, killed Baja, and lived to tell the tale. I'm amazed. Levin, sorry, has got away with so much. But this position could be interesting. YaDoJay doesn't have any exit strategy, but will they have expected anybody to be here? The problem I worry about is, does he get more than one? And with the rest of the players now going back to the B site, even with only 2 here, Mitch, these 2 have been annoying to clear.
YaDoJay. Oh, that timing. He's gotten around. This could be the flank of the century. It all depends if Doja comes out of his astral form, and he doesn't. Now they're wrapping up behind as Mr. Fallen tries to delay, but they've broken through. The gates are fallen, and Levin is in. A clean spray down from him. Cristalli and Mr. Fallen on the ground, but here's YaDoJay's chance. The spike drop, a double already, and he sends in the ultimate. A nail in the coffin if he can take Avaz down, but instead, the plant is found, and time, as low as it was, no longer a factor. It's chosen its side, and it's on KC with Zeus, an op in hand. There's no way he goes for the 1v3. He's already backing off to spawn. KC, that one was a nail biter, but they've gotten away with it.
Yeah, really nice round from Levin. Like, the almost sheer disrespect. Like, we heard him at the end of the last calling for the operator, get me that operator. But then he also did stellar work on the execute into the site as well. Like, being able to leave the players stunned at the back. I believe that was his ultimate, the convergence path that left them completely screwed because of the lack of angles that were created with all of that utility coming out of the Teo. And well, after a blitzing start, it does seem like the tactical pause that came out from Zeiss has sort of made the difference. They've immediately found responses, they've immediately found gaps. And yeah, that's just filthy.
Yeah, really shouldn't have gotten away with that one. And a dive in, this onto Mr. Fallen, his third. Just as ridiculous. And this is a player that we talked a lot about. As we said, last map felt like a real vindicating moment for him, where we've seen that Yoru, he hasn't looked comfortable, but we kind of came in thinking, man, does Levin just have to play Jet every time? But the Yoru looked better last time. Now we're getting to see the Waylay as well, and he's certainly looking more and more comfortable. I like this, and it is one of those things where I think we come back to, sometimes it does just take time. Look, there's the stats. Look how much better those...
He seems to be doing well, but I worry more when he comes up against tougher opposition because, well, one of these teams is going out in last place.
Exactly, right? And again, it comes back to the conversation from the start of the day about if you're going to make a long run, if you're going to win the 5 games after this, you got to be dominant here. You got to look clean. It's a clean opener, at least for FUT. The thing is that, you know, this B site's the only place there's a threat. You know, they get that A aggression, but can they hold on to B? Well, there's been no execute off the back of it. There's now 3 players towards the B site. Heaven controls back under the possession of FUT, and the dive out from Waylay gets nothing. So we're a step back from square one.
Grenade is live.
Still, where do we go from here?
Salvo's being sent through. That's the kill onto Baha. Him being caught out has been a big issue in a lot of these rounds. Levin able to clear out another, and the back of the site is gone. Nobody left to tell the tale. With a Viper's Pit in play, but also Levin.
Spike planted.
Quite an aggressive position. He's now going to be healed up, but that leaves a lot of space, potentially, for FUT to try and re-clear.
Well, Zeus is taking the AWP, which might look strange. Retaking with an AWP against a pit, but there it is. The ult's going to be activated. The stun's already hit. The spray through doesn't get anything. Down to a rifle he goes. Levin, 30 HP, but knowing that Neon ult's online, he's not risking it. Strong connection from Zeus, but Zagetsu still stands. The pit will not fall until it's a 1v1. And now Levin creeping into the corner, holds the hope of KC. This attack side keeps climbing back. 5-4 now.
Especially with the opener, especially with clearing out Dosia. Like you mentioned, all of those late lurks, this basically forced them into repositioning. Like instead of seeing Aves go with the squad, he ends up going up top just to try and hold onto that ground. But it mainly came down to just Sugetsu. Like these couple of kills made this possible, gave a little bit of extra space, and it's only 7 HP that ends up being the difference. Around the FUT might look back on and be a little bit upset about, but ultimately it's the one that's broken their economy and potentially leads KC to level the score.
Well, that's it, and that's 3 in a row now as well for KC. As we said, the momentum switching side, wind direction keeps
Flip
on
a coin
changing.
every round. That's where the momentum is.
Yeah, building off of it seems to be impossible.
If it's tails, it's FUT. Just the opposite of heads.
See. Oh, God. Well, it is indeed a broken economy for FUT. Pistols. Levin taking a bit of a risk on that walk up with the Outlaw. But it, well, yeah, that was an unfortunate situation for Yedege. I don't know. It looked like a smoke was up and he got spammed through it.
I think that is the case.
Yeah, that's tough. But at least it's only happening on a pistol. See what Cristalli can do. He's up close with a stinger. In a different meta, maybe he would have had a chance. But right now,
hey, Kama did it.
It was very impressive on Abyss, but
they've got enough utility and well, yeah. At that range, he was never going to win it.
30 seconds left.
Levin really coming into his own on the last few rounds. A big clutch in the last, a multi-frag on an execution the round before. And this is the guy we kind of wanted to see if KC were going to make that climb back through the lower bracket.
Planted.
Man on the other side would be Zeus, but anything in this round from this stage should be almost impossible. They're just playing for the exits.
So they still expect Hero and Split FUT to look that bit better on the attack. Put up their numbers there.
My ult's ready.
When those weaknesses of the newly built IGL will shine through that little more on the defense. Much like they did in post plants in those discipline-heavy moments on the previous map. For now, though, scoreline equalized. And it was FUT on the last map who managed to constantly climb back but never took the lead until the final hour. It was the same old story. Or did they take the lead at all, actually, last map?
I don't believe they did.
Actually, I think, yeah, they might have been behind.
I think every time they brought it back, they then lost the previous round.
Well, it's their chance to give KC a taste of their own medicine. That 7-5 half still possible, but this is what's going to decide it for FUT. Big investment, putting all their credits on the line, getting an off-out as well. They haven't got the ultis, and I mentioned Aves. The utility that's brought to play, 0 assists, so a bad time to mention it, but he's got his ultimate. And this could be a very, very dangerous ulti here on Split.
Already. Zeus. There with that opener. So much utility being placed onto him, but Baha's moved in to try and play stopper, try to help them out a little bit more. The flashes definitely helped him quite a lot. Maneuvering his way back out of there, the salvos haven't been able to deny him anything at all. With the spike up top, you almost need a miracle play, and the Prowler has given away exactly where Aves plans to go. Still should have himself a 1v1, but teammates come in and even the stun up. That's helped quite a bit. Leaving the clutch for Aves. Okay. It should have been dead to rights a long, long time ago. And eventually he will be. The swing from Baha, a 3K from him, another high impact round, and well, for at least guaranteed level at the half.
Last round in the half.
Yeah, Baha definitely coming into his own on this map. As I said last, it felt like that was Crystalli's arc. And now perhaps it's Baha's moment.
Blinded.
The lead kept by FUT again as these scraps for KC. There's not a consistent answer for them and how to get into sites. And I think, again, we can see the ideas behind this composition, behind Teho, but the reward
on A.
No, I don't remember the plan to get. No, I think it's all been about that B site, late mid fights. And it looks like that's the game plan to end out this half, round 12.
Especially with the ult.
Yeah, it's got to be. And actually, I'm kind of surprised to see Mr. Fallen sticking around on the B site. Yeah, he's backing off a little bit now.
Oh yeah, the
Danger zone.
it definitely seems like they were slowed quite a bit though. The fact that Levin has already used our frag means he's not going to be able to get out of there. And well, this is what I mean, there's nowhere to stand. A retake setup put into play. Yedajay's done well. Nightfall connected onto a multitude of players, and Cosmic Divide put into play to try and make things as awkward as possible. But speaking of awkward, that fight has not gone to plan. Drone on the other side. I don't know how Crostelli hasn't been shot in the face as he dipped in to the Cosmic Divide. Levin, though, a wonderful shot. Zeus gone from above. They'll just wait out.
You are divided.
It's Cosmic Divide. Just a minute. That's all they needed. Just a centimeter extra. Levin's now spotted the flank as well. And in fact, they're going to plant on the other side of it, but they forgot to knock Stanley. He's able to find 2 quick kills. Well, momentum shifting in this round, and this round alone, Levin left into a 1 versus 2 scenario. It was looking good, but 13 seconds, there is no way
10 seconds
he
left.
gets out of this one alive. Crystalli completely repositioning, just waiting, and with 5 seconds, he'll be the one to take the fight, loses it, but Baha is gone.
Well, it's 7-5 in the end, folks. FUT, they don't relinquish the lead. We end up with KC climbing back, but still trailing at the half. FUT looking to claim.
Yeah, well, for again, it's similar to the last map where we saw an early sort of blitz out of FUT, a streak back from KC, some decent rounds from Levin again. I think he's been having a good game thus far. And this is where, if anything, I expect things to get better for him. Like, if he can get that defensive side operator, get those aggressive peaks, that's where Waylay on this map really does thrive.
Bring them down.
But now, though, I'm sure they'd love a pistol to even things back up.
Yeah, even if they don't end up taking the lead. But Crystalli, oh, he's jumped in for 2. But Levin wants to fight his way back into middle. No shots landing on the side of KC, and the lead for FUT extended to 3.
Yeah, that's a big pistol round for them. We know how important this map is going to be in general, and definitely having some struggles when they play mates over on that attack side. Anything they can get to start things off would be a huge help. I'll have to see if they can keep this one nice and clean, though. Again, they're one of the teams that you normally see those sort of like rifles invested into, at least on a minimum, but they're so happy to play the SMGs that it does mean these second rounds are normally quite a bit safer.
Think about it this way, man. Viper's second most played agent globally in VCT, and Viper used to be so much stronger, not just with the toxin pools being able to be active at the same time, or you could
So you're saying they should nerf her again?
No. Hold on now. What I'm saying is to all of the teams who didn't play her actively when she was in a buffed state, bet you feel stupid now, but I hope there's no more nerfs on the way. I feel like she's in the perfect spot, you know? Yedajay, not in the perfect spot! As he falls back into the salvos set up by Aves. Well, that's a bit of an exaggerated way to show that the utility is solid. They've got an opening pick with classics.
Yeah, not a bad start whatsoever. Again, they've completely lost the A site, and Baha It's just going to get aggressive into the spawn. It is a shooting range for Baha. He's going to go down to Sugetsu, but I don't think he's going to give a damn. Coming in with 4 extra orbs. And a round where you only invested into the Marshal pretty much pays for itself, and whatever extra was kept through into this round. Not much lost, 9-5, and this is where if KC are going to make a stand on this map, it needs to be now.
Yep, we are running out of runway quicker than a Fast and Furious movie.
They never run out.
They famously don't.
They never run out.
They don't run out of runway at all. I mean,
so Mitch believes in the comeback is what I'm getting from that analogy.
Absolutely. Hell, if that plane could stay on tarmac for that long, I believe in anything. It's time for double digits for FUT or for KC to mount that bounce back and avoid Pearl being the deciding factor in whether they get to stay in kickoff or be kicked out of the league very early on to start this year off.
Until stage 1.
With failure. Well, yeah, until stage 1.
They do come back.
As far as we know.
True.
Spanish
Not
fans know what's up. But yeah, for FUT, looking for the double digits. A pistol in play for Baha, some SMGs. Like, it's a mixed bag, but this is a round that they're going to give themselves opportunities. Players holding the extremities, 3 players full focused around that mid control. You just want to deny the util, deny the map control, deny the information that KC are putting out. But one way to do that now it would be to take down Levin, who's tucked in that corner, and Baha, yeah, he's got his work cut out in that regard.
Got the gun for it. Mr. Fallen's done well.
Very
Dosia
well.
down. Stunned up Sugetsu. Had to reposition. He's been caught as well, and he's got to be careful where he moves from here. But Mr. Fallen's putting utility down, stood in the open. What's going on there? IGL lost and Shados. Oh, he got 2 kills in the first half. He got 3 kills in this round. I don't know where that's come from, but I don't know what happened with Mr. Fallen.
I feel like this series has had more moments where if I saw my ranked teammates do that, I'd be screaming at them, you know, than any series I've seen. And we're only a map and a half in. What was he thinking? The worst part is, his opponent was marked like a bloodstain. I mean, the Hunt just saw him. You knew someone was there, and you stand in the open. That's a very silly play from a very smart player. But, you know, a blip on the radar perhaps. FUT, 9-6, still have quite a lead to play with, but their credits running quite low. While double digits still evade them, the one thing they need to be careful of here, even if it's a loss, is that they make this costly for KC. But the problem is, with Eco probably coming up next, this could be KC's way back in. It's early doors yet, but FUT need to be very careful, and you can see it. Look how passive this attack side setup. We've seen them play the default where like Baha was walking up to the wall. Now you've got a player sitting outside middle, a player sitting inside main, super passive, and then a 3 stack up on A. I mean, they don't want to give away any advantages, but they very nearly did.
Yeah, I think they are just nervous playing against the Teo. Like the salvos have just caused them so much issue, even if they're on fairly passive angles, that they're just waiting to see. Again, a lot of contact spots. Levin taking contact. We saw Dosia in the same angle he was in the previous round. This time, he came out on top.
Recovering.
The worry, though, is the time. 35 seconds, but there's not a whole lot of control over Heaven. That's been given up
30
fairly
seconds left.
freely. And KC clearly have the idea that this is a B hit.
Well, they saw the information on mid, right? There were players there, there was pressure, and the control was taken out. Now, going to site, they're going to hold this together. Bunkering down and looking to defend what is a difficult position with 12 seconds on the clock. The time forces FUT forward.
10 seconds left.
Sands leaving the hourglass. Aves still inside the smoke, runs out of ammo. And because of that, they may actually get this planted. It's a 1 versus 1 for Doja. He's isolated it to a single player. Yedege tucked in on the site, but Doja has no idea every angle to be cleared, but the same goes the other way. Yedege has to be worried now about his opponent walking down onto the ramp, but they're moving towards each other. It's Doja who catches the timing. A 1 versus 3. KC continue the climb back, and well, that should put some wind in their sails. Fantastic round from Doja.
Nah, it's absolute madness what he was able to do in that moment. Like, such quick reactions. The sort of dome. The guy on site, barely a pixel showing, and that was enough for him to take over the round. I thought they might lose it just to time. individually. That was all it really came down to. But the first shot and then the immediate clear onto Baha. Just nasty stuff from Dosia. And as you said, like that was the backbreaker round. That was the round where FUT had a chance to put daylight between them and their opponents. Instead, they now have an eco, they have a Bucky, they have a singular ult, and they're up against a sniper.
Yedajay down.
This, I'm out of here.
Zeus on his way in. Levin can't fight that, surely! He's in the salvos for more! Levin lighting up the kill feed! What a round from him. I mean, there's weaknesses in play for FUT, but he's just styled on them there in middle. And Baha creeping up. Great round from him in the previous, by the way. That double spray down he found into spawn was as clean as could be, but yeah, there's nothing to be done about this one. Mr. Fallen alone, and you sort of look to the next round. It's going to be chaos, Tom. FUT so close to having almost all of their ultimates online. And for KC, they're not that far away, but it's really the convergence path that's going to have to hold off against the assault and onslaught that's going to be coming their way.
I know where he is. And there is no escape. An in-zone flawless for KC right after a big clutch round. All that economy goes trickling back into their pockets, and it's an immediate response.
That was nasty.
That's quick enough reactions. Otherwise, he was getting buckied. And then also, yeah, again, it's when it's your... that reminds me of the the first time meme. Who's this map or the next? They have definitely got to dig deep. They've definitely got to have got something done with the pause. Now, ults-wise, they're not in too bad a position, but they need to get to a point where that Viper's Pit becomes valuable. Levin is just walking out immediately. You can see he's feeling confident.
Well, I think you could definitely see that last round with the Outlaw, even holding as close as he was in events before, running through Salvo's Doja. Not ready for Yedajay to be that close. Now the Cosmic Divide should get them through to the site. Snakebite's there to delay them. And in fact, the ult sent in by Levin, but he's hit by the Hinder as Segetsu falls. Who can pull them out of this deficit? And it seems to be nobody. A pit online if needed. And Aves, hold on, that pit might actually give him a chance. Well, never mind.
A really good pre-spam coming out from Zeus. He had an idea that somebody might try and make that play. Vishados, it just has to be a save, right? You're not going to attempt the 1v4 with your economy in a bit of a shaky spot. Levin were wanting a purchase into the next round, so wouldn't really be worth doing anything too aggro, but the thing is, again, you look at that from KC and you could see the ideas. Like, I will say I'm not a huge fan of Dosia playing the same angle. Like, I think that's either 3 or 4 times in a row. First time he lost the battle versus Mr. Fallen. Next time it's the exact same angle. He won the battle. This time, Yedajay basically pre-fires the angle because you know he's going to be there. And like, I get it. You want contact, then you pull out your util, but if you're even slightly caught off guard, it's a free kill onto the opener. And everything else then from KC is reactive. We have to use this ult, we have to use this piece of util. And that's where FUT can just go, we have the advantage, we can just be a bit patient. Like, we don't have to be over aggro, we can kind of just wait. And there you go, that's the exact angle I'm talking about. He has played there a lot.
Well, issues being spotted. And a timeout has been called. It's KC to take a moment. I thought that could be the turning point there. Aves up close. If they were to get
Creates
so
mid? Few positions to stand in. But yeah, it does look like potential early middle control.
Ult here and then straight in with the Neon? No, it's a more normal round. I would have loved to see it though.
I think conventionally you're going to see Sugetsu play on that left side anyway though. So it's like, if he spams you, you're just going to be tilted. Like, it's going to be a pure tilt round of going through the orb. But there you go, almost. The catch doesn't quite get control of Aves. In fact, it's done back on the other side. It could catch everybody. It doesn't quite work, though. I think it missed one player, and that was enough for Yedajay to capitalize. He's taken a lot of space. He has the spike, though, and he is completely alone. Sure, his teammate of Baha's not too far behind, but he doesn't know what's clear. He knows that there were 2 players around the vent, so you can have an educated guess. But Levin at the backside is someone they desperately need to get rid of before they can go A. And now they seem to just be waiting for Mr. Fallen to get into position.
Look at where Sugetsu and Doja have gone. They think it's a B hit. Standing completely alone. Lonely as a cloud. Levin has got to take down so many players, but they haven't spotted him yet. Clearing him, not in time though. And his dash out gets him to safety, if you want to call it that. He's got an idea, the right idea. Ships in the night though. Yedeje clears his back and a 2v2. But this post plant has the convergence path on the side of FUT. What a cosmic divide for Doja.
Yeah, also the defenders didn't move because he'd only seen that one player. So they were thinking this was maybe a ruse, like this was a fake to try and bait them into a rotation off B. So the other two are only just making their way into heaven. And think about that. Think about how long FUT will have had. FUT, though, also don't realize. They think they're right on them. They think they're just around the corner, but they're only just making their way into the site. It's kind of a battling two different paths. And, well, Yedeje is the one that ends up closing it. Had a bit of a quieter game individually, but this round was massive for FUT.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this replay because that stun goes down. Zeus isn't caught up close, but Yedeje was and still manages to get the weapon out. He thought about putting the convergence path down, but didn't have time. And thank God, sets it up for this. He ends up with another kill, turning his back into player, but spinning just in time, and then catches the double walkthrough. There's a reason. He's on his feet, he's banging his chest. He's just single-handedly put FUT potentially onto map 3. That was a massive round for them, and a lot of chances now to close this out.
Player full blinded. Viper screens crossing paths. Tiger will go through first. They had the salvos ready and raring to go, but the problem they have is you might be able to force a guy out of an angle, but if the screens go up, countering it's going to be difficult. Levin's done well though. That's already Yedeje, hero of the last round, gone. And Zeus is tagged a bit as well.
Seekers, the 3 players towards the A side are about to be detected. But all this tells them is that Heaven's been taken over. KC don't know about Mr. Fallen, and he's getting himself embedded into a nasty little angle. Good potential for him to find a pick, and Baha's doing just the same. Smoke though. There's 2 sides to it. He can't watch them both. The timing will be everything. Shanos does walk through it. The FUT seemingly with no idea of where they want to take it just yet. 30 seconds on the clock. Mr. Fallen now wraps around. He's going to the backside of B. They're going to try to play this wrap. Actually, this might work perfectly, especially if noise is made from mid. If those players give it away, Mr. Fallen should be able to stab them in the back. A beautiful lurk, not so beautiful of a spray, but with 12 seconds left, he might just have done enough. That reveal is perfect.
Yeah, that's all they needed. We've had some criticism of the Crystali haunt so far, but
map 1 they sucked, Tom. Map 1 he didn't know what he was doing.
Definitely a good one, an important one with the judge on the other side. And while the defenders do still have 3 standing, Shados has full blinded himself as he makes it round the corner. Salvo's out, but it hasn't cleared the angle. Mr. Fallen tagged low though. He's got to be a little bit careful here, but Baha, another backstab, a second layer could be so problematic, and Crystali's done well just to slow them further. Shados needs to find everybody, and he's surrounded. 12-8. FUT continue their streak, and well, KC need 4 in a row if we're going to overtime again.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting out of FUT when it comes to the attack side, being able to find those gaps. And the reality is for KC, they've got a new IGL, and we've heard even recently from Angel about Xiao in a similar position, how much there is to learn. The difference is for Xiao, he's fitting into a game plan, a game identity that they already have. When you come to this matchup, it's not quite the same. And on the defense, that's where teams are able to make those gaps. They're able to push you out of your comfort zone. And right here, we see one of those gaps ripped wide open by the IGL on the other side. Masterful mid-rounding from Mr. Fallen.
It has made this purchase a little bit awkward. I saw Dosia during Project Blender play quite a few shotguns, but a lot of that was because I believe he was still in Kazakhstan and was playing with 80 to 100 ping. So that made a little bit more sense.
Fair enough.
Him playing it right now has made less sense, but it seems like he's given that over. So get to In the pit, Baha with the Baha blast has just taken out Levin immediately.
I'd like to retract everything I said about Baha earlier. If we could delete that VOD, that would make me feel a little bit better. Because I came in today thinking like, okay, everyone here but Cristalli and Baha, I don't understand the pickups. Map 1, Cristalli was great. I was still critical.
All they needed
Baha,
was a Mitch curse.
He's really shown up, genuinely, yeah. Now he's going to be taken down second. I praise him by Shados, who's really at a struggler of a game.
Oh, here we go. Shadow saves. Into the side they go. Pop flash. But bear in mind, there's still quite a lot of utility to expend. Mainly looking at the salvos and looking at the annihilation, but it's not actually going to go through. They're waiting to play the retake instead, not going for plant denial, which has bit them a little bit in the past. They are taking their time.
Toxins
Only just getting into position now. The clock has been burning.
Yeah. Armageddon day is coming. Here it is. It's backside, but it's already been cleared. Cristalli stood in front of the ult. They were ready for that play. Cristalli's double proves it. A fantastic showing from the rookies on the side of FUT. They have claimed their map pick.
Yeah, it's a map where we've sort of been waiting to see both of these squads play in the past. Historically, I always enjoyed a Mr. Fallen Pearl, but he put himself on the tail in the past, and I'm looking forward to see what Cristalli has in it, because he's been very, very good today. And while seeing Yetajay, he's sort of on a Sentinel. They've gone pushing all the way up, though. A very quick rotation available for KC. The spam does damage. But eventually they have to dark out of there, and then back in they go. Levin with 1, needs more, finds more, 3 already, and then just looks to try and escape. Doesn't want to overheat, wants to join up with his team.
Wow.
And play the advantage.
Really nicely played by Levin. A chance for KC, he may well be. KC's beating hard, but Yetajay in that corner, snuck in just in time. Does he get curious? No, waiting his turn, but Aves swings in and turns him to mush. It's only Mr. Fallen, and he'll find the same fate awaits him. Levin with a 4K in the pistol has given KC the leg up.
Yeah, well, we spoke about in their last map when it was Breeze facing off against Liquid, the amount of 3v5s they're able to win. They've just added another to the tally, and a lot of it came down to this man right here at the back of the site. Able to move in early, took some early spam damage, and then from pretty much the rest of the round, he was just ripping heads. 1-0, an important pistol. And well, there you go. Last Pearl match was a 14-12 victory.
For both. Hey, that's beautiful. Both teams last playing Pearl against each other, stage 1 last year. Now, they get to bring it back. And it's up against the same squads they faced previously. As well, these orgs have a lot of history, but of course for KC, entirely different rosters throughout the years.
Don't miss me too much.
Well, last year's coaching staff certainly looking to level the field. That's an easy pickup onto Zeus to start it. All these pistols, classics across the board for FUT. They're not getting anything done, but it's kind of what you expect.
Oh, Sugetsu just running it down. An in-zone flawless for KC. The perfect start with a lot of weaponry to take through into the next round. Maybe even a chance for Dosia to add a rifle into the mix if he so chooses. No, he's bought a Bucky. We'll see if he sticks with that. But this has been the case for both squads, especially coming into the buys. Like, there's not been a whole lot of rifles. There's not been a whole lot of bonuses played in sort of like the 3-rifle, 2-pistol way so that you can do more in these sort of rounds. And yet there's always been moments where you felt like it was possible. We'll have to see if Dosia has any Mr. Fallen magic with a Bucky on this map. Instead, though, they've gone pushing up early for orb control.
I like this early aggression from Doji. You can see how annoying it is. A main completely under his control. Even just with a Bucky in his hands. And, well, a team like FUT knows just how dangerous the Bucky can be on this map.
One suppressed.
Mr. Fallen certainly does. My arm still hurts from that play. As we come into round 3, very, very slow approach from the attackers, but they are now grouping up as Shados has found out, and he's going to give up control over Art. His FUT slowly claimed that. Look at the shift from KC. very much expecting the A hit. And with a gate crash towards B, they can make that little bit of a gamble. I'm not sure if FUT are going to commit, though. Look how far behind Yedege is. They might take this back if they spot how many players are here.
A lot of utility thrown out, but Zeus made it past. There is the Bucky. 4 more needed. And he didn't get it. Spams away, not doing as much damage as they'd hope, and the juggling rifles haven't worked out. It leaves just Sugetsu remaining.
Spike planted.
1 versus 3. Does at least have the range, but it's only going to be the 1. A decent amount of damage for KC, but for FUT, more important that they're onto the board, off of the races. This is where, well, we wait and see if they're going to be starting off the streak.
Is there something to follow up on the back of it? And I guess coming into this map, Tom, it's been so long since we've seen it from these teams.
Let's go!
And the way that the game has gone so far, I don't think anybody will be brave enough to pull out predictions. I certainly won't be foolish enough. So I guess it does just come down to compositions, and I suppose that's where the question sits. Are you liking what you're seeing from FUT? Do you like the chamber that's coming out?
Yeah, I have a
it?
feeling that both of these
missile.
teams, I'd expect more on the defense. Like, I think we're going to have that aggressive chamber, lots of delay, lots of info getting for that defensive side to take map control. And I think the attack is all going to be about breaking through that. A lot of pressure put onto both Levin and Zeus. But also, once you get that defensive side operator, this map becomes a lot smaller. Favoring one, very difficult, but now at least early spat. Dosia has managed to dodge all of those bullets, or most of them at least.
While hindered. Yeah, they might have thought he was gone, but they certainly know now. Shados! He's tripled up, and one was a spray through the smoke. Go for another. A few shots through. No, he's waited with Doja, and while he gets his reward in the end, not quite the ace, but a round's a round. And a 4K for Shados speaks volumes. KC, 3-1. No chained rounds for FUT.
I think we're seeing it again with just the irritation that can be caused by that Teo utility on the defensive side. Just slowing the initial push enough. Like, especially when you have that sort of solo duelist, you want to almost like explode in towards the site, but they're never really able to because one of them is then sectioned off. Of course, Shados being able to shut things down, but realistically, I am looking at Yedege here, because I know that as a lurker, we can see high impact from him, but with what is basically just firepower as your utility, I need you to be getting numbers up on the board.
Well, no timeout for FUT after going 3-1 down. Now they're on pistols. The next buy round, really where the line in the sand has to be drawn. Remember, when we start this series out, you think about whose map pick it is, the future maps and all this, but now all of those questions, they don't seem to matter anymore. It's do or die. It's elimination time, and for FUT, every round that goes up in favor of KC, just another straw on that camel's back, and we don't know how far it can go. Don't know how much weight they can take, how much pressure they can stand tall under. For FUT, trailing by 4-1 seems inevitable, but they have got a lot of space towards the A site. There's not a massive stack up. With a headhunter and a sheriff, they can get some damage done. Already ground being taken, and Shados, does he stick around with Abez, or do they give it up? They're looking for the fight, and they're finding them with great success.
Yeah, a lot of damage done on the initial sprays. C's also slowing them further. It makes it so difficult to break through these A-site chokes, but when you've been running it over to B, you know there's going to be an operator homing in on you, so getting through that choke's going to be difficult. I think the main thing I want to see now is how they put pressure on some of that mid-control in the other direction. Like, do they take lane? Do they sort of make that B site a little bit more awkward? Because I feel like so far KC have been able to have minimum 2, but in most cases 3 players on A, because there just is no pressure on B long or that link position.
Yes, and this is one of the things we talked about for FUT on the attack side. The experience there in terms of those calls, you expect that to be where they find those gaps. Right now, no gaps being found. KC plugged it up like they've got too many planks in Sea of Thieves, and with another round
Cutting through.
lost here for FUT, they'll be almost forced into a pause. But for now, confident that they can find their way back in.
Again.
We saw Mr. Fallen quick to dispense some words after the last full buy round loss. Nedajay's made it across with the op. He doesn't know there's a player tucked in on the left, and here come the salvos. He's just about made it out of there alive.
I really like that, using the special delivery to destroy the trap. Just to keep the bait going. Keep the bait that there's potentially not someone close. Again, though, they're falling into the same trope. Back to the A site they go for the umpteenth time in a row. Nightfall sent through. I like the Cosmic Divide off the back of it, but the counter utility is already being thrown out. Drone to go in. Of course, spam's not possible unless they go on the other side, and there's been continuous utility put into place to make sure they can't make a move. This will be the first time we actually have to see a full-on retake out from KC.
They've got that flank protection from Baham miles away, but still when it starts to play, that flash doesn't quite land as intended. Zeus marked in the corner, gets one. Ult! He's managed to get the ult off! That's a disgrace for KC! It should have been a shutdown! That was their way back in! A trade at least, but so much time! Boy, they've got to run! They've got to sprint! And all through, and all of a sudden, Baha's alone! How has this happened? They're blocking it! The defuse still underway! KC, they fumbled, but they did not falter! A ridiculous round, and honestly, if there's not a timeout after that, we won't see one all game. What a chaotic round.
They used everything. Nightfall, Cosmic Divide to take the site convergence path to slow them down. Even throwing in the tail ult at the end, and they just kept past all of it. This final shot as well had to be lightning fast from Abez. I don't know how KC made that work. They were fighting against every ultimate that was possibly on offer for FUT. And even when they used all 4 of them, nothing.
I know it's a cliche, Tom, but it was a 4 versus 3 post plant. I genuinely blinked, and there were 3 things in the top right on the kill feed. It was a 1v4 in a split second. That's ridiculous. And they haven't called a timeout. FUT, hey, they're happy to go. I get it on the first buy. You say, you know, I noticed the problems. Here's how we fix it. Let's move on. That last round, though, I almost want a timeout just to breathe. And now the drone didn't spot Doja. He's just walked right past it. And it's a low buy round for FUT, so it's whatever. But these little mistakes, they're going to add up. Surely a timeout after this one.
They're also just going to irritate. Like, these are things where you go like, well, I don't know how this has happened. Like, I don't know how I've died here. And that frustration is definitely going to start building, because the last round is the sort of round where you go, that's unlosable. Like, you can't use 2 ults to take the site and 2 ults in post and still lose. And still lose convincingly.
Yes.
5.5 seconds and 3 players standing. Like, that's just not good enough. And KC almost have to be laughing. We'll see. Can there be some damage for Yedajay? Yes, there can. Sugetsu not expecting it in the corner, and this is a round they definitely shouldn't be winning. But now, with a tour de force, that one remaining ult, and 2 players up against. Look at the guns. It's an operator and a judge. It's chalk and cheese on the retake.
FUT have the advantage, but Yedajay stepping into the angle. Shot landed. And now, Doja alone, a pistol and a judge, a tour de force on the other side, and I don't know how FUT have gotten away with this round, but somehow it seems to be theirs, and that easy shot for Mr. Fallen confirms it. A thrifty for FUT at 5-2. And you give Yedajay an inch there, just that small gap that they left, he filled it in right away. Gorgeous shots.
Yeah, that's why you put Yedajay on Chamber, like, because the raw skill is undeniable.
Nice.
Well, from an unlosable round to an unwinnable round, flip the script, other way around. Doesn't make sense. Not going to try and explain it. We're moving on. Still a buy up for KC. Yedajay now has that operator in hand once again. The problem is, again, you kind of sit there and go, is that just a flash in the pan? I think I'm assuming Levin thought that was going to be shot for him.
I would guess so, yeah.
All right, there's a Prowler coming, and it's gone, and it's gone, and I guess I'm gone.
Look at this playthrough art. Zeus has already put so much pressure on Avis. He can't get out. He can't get away. They managed to make that little crunch and now change direction towards the B site. Gate Crash is in position. Levin can rotate very easily. There will be 3 players on B as those steps are heard. Here comes Levin any second now. And he's now here. Lockdown in play, buys more time. 15 seconds on the clock. Doja in the corner, landing a double! And another to the tally! He's in a different dimension! And yet still, he's not dropped! Finally put in his place, but buried alongside him is Yedajay. And with Baha 1v3, Spike down in the open. Only 2 players on the site.
Got a 1v1.
Yeah,
if he checks it.
Can pull these angles into individual fights at least. And he has been very reliable, but it's not to be this time. Course correction from KC, right back to winning ways.
Yeah, Dosia just, again, dancing within the madness. Avis, again, that's got to be an annoying one. Just being caught. And nobody checking that backline. I guess, again, you see the ult go down, you go, oh, retake setup. Okay, they're all outside the site. They've got 4 players. Maybe they gambled the other way. And yeah, well, Dosia waving at them, probably questioning how nobody checked that back. And just like, breath of fresh air, 10 and 4, top of the server. He's just been having a great time. And
there.
I don't know. It is sort of the meta versus comfort, but I wonder if they might look to put him on a little bit more, Senti.
I mean, each team's obviously going to have their optimal play. FUT, they're geared up to challenge Sugetsu, and after Salvo, a lot of bodies coming around that corner. Only good for the one.
There.
And trades in a round like this where FUT come in with so many weaknesses, especially because they can potentially recover the weapon. Trades are all that you want on this attack side, at least in those initial fights. Now, they're a thorn in the side. All of this mid control, down towards water, even their own spawn. Like, take a look at this position that has to be watched. Shadows has to come back to clear this so they can't come in through the spawn. Basically, anywhere that they go now is a 1vx fight.
Yeah, 11 as well. I wonder how much time he's got left on his TP. The answer, it is gone. Yeah, he has to go somewhere. The angle he was in was only good if you have the gate crash. He has to reposition, and that's a decent reposition, but he's then caught. That's an operator down on the ground. The cross being held by Shados, and he's not able to connect the shot. Push coming in as well on the other side. Zeus, I'm not sure how much of a fake that was being sold. He just tried to catch rotators, and now, well, Cristalli, the only man standing, and Shados will get the job done in the end. 7 and 2, half guaranteed. As I said, I expected stronger defensive halves, but I do think this is getting a little bit too far.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it continues in this way, the gap's going to be a little bit too big for most teams to even think about coming back into. And the reality is for KC, you know, they're not showing any signs of slowing down. There's smiles in the coaching booth. I don't know what he said, but neither do they. But Doja's definitely getting confident. KC are in general. Contrast that face that Ang's making to the one earlier on, albeit it might have been his ears being blasted by sound, but the vibe looking great down in that coaching booth for KC. Levin, gate crash, not even halfway gone. He'll stick around here for quite a while, and I think FUT are going to give him a challenge, but he has to get out.
Oh, it was close, and actually Shados bites a bullet for it. Diving over the top. It's a good start from Zeus. Desperately in need of attack side rounds. Oh, Yedajay, other than that singular round, I haven't really seen much impact from this chamber. Playing the other side of the map, looking for space, but I feel like he's been isolated. I like the idea from FUT, though. Like, you get that early fight, then you just sit patiently. Wait for your opponents to go hunting for information. Wait for them to use all of that utility. Timing here, not the best, but because he stayed in the corner, that could actually create more of a problem for Levin. Does he now go back in the other direction? Now, does he have the expectation? No, he's caught out Baha. He's leveled things up once again. And in fact, the attack side with 30 seconds left, they're going to try and move the other way, but there are still 2 defenders here.
That's the thing. After you find the first, how many more will you expect? Cosmic Divide goes in, but Doja's out, and now they have no idea. But Sugetsu, he strikes a little too early. They know that he's here, and Mr. Fallen cleanly connects. The headshot puts them ahead by 2, and with a plant in, Yedeje didn't need to swing. Now, perhaps a chance. Everybody in individual fights, but they'll look to swing together as they do. Levin finds another, but he's all alone. Oh, it's getting dicey. It's getting close, and he'll find himself a rifle. 14 shots still in the mag as he wraps around, but they're set up to swing this together, and he has no chance when they do. A third found for FUT. And they can still bring this back to 7-5 at the half. It's not too far gone just yet.
Yeah, again, I feel like the actual setup from KC wasn't a bad one. Like, they didn't fall for the bait. I think it was just the not waiting for the divide to be fully up and not realizing how many players were here. And then also Sugetsu just unable to find the trade. It gave him nowhere to go. Like, he had to just stay and fight. And when it came to the important kills of the round, FUT found them. And this is enough to, well, just look at the economy. Look at the money that's on the board for KC in this round. There's going to be pieces missing. They're likely going to be fighting for the next one, but well, we've already seen a fair amount of individual brilliance. I wouldn't say this is a guaranteed round for FUT.
Oh, anything but. When it comes down to numbers, take a look over this side of the map. Just how many people are here. You've got 4.
2.5.
Only see 3, yeah. 2.5 at best. That's because Shados has used the Haunt already, so he's only half and a Prowler, so half his belt left.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely wasn't because of the circle.
No, need a bigger circle, man. I knew I should have done the click to drag to stretch, but for next time.
Oh, no! Oh, that is cursed. He looks away from the angle for half a second. And that leaves the A site wide open for business. Singular rifle left, a pistol for Sugetsu. Got to be a little bit careful facing off against this man with the sheriff in hand. And actually, okay. Verge's path used. Clearly feeling there was a need to try and deny this retake, and denied it has been.
Yeah, it's not like they have a huge ultimate online for the next round, but they nearly do. I mean, in terms of getting in, finding that space, Convergence Path is obviously going to confirm this round, get rid of any possibility of individuals taking over, and then coming into the next, we potentially have the Armageddon ready to roll for Crystalli.
Well, yeah, I guess the importance as well of an in-zone flawless, making sure that you have everything for the next round and your opponents don't get anything brought back home. And especially when you are, as I said, like you were down quite a few rounds, just confirming that that's not going to get any more dangerous. I think was the main reason for FUT throwing that in. 7-4. A 7-5 half, I think especially the position they were in, FUT can be very happy with that. The pistol round may even bring them back level, but Dimensional Drift, operator in hand for Levin. There was no one even close there to shoot that one, so I think he was just hoping that someone would face him on the timing, but not this time.
Well, his gate crash has been sent out. You can see it moving towards spawn, and it will be taken soon as FUT now put the pressure on towards this A site.
You want to fight it?
Cosmic Divide's already gone through, and it's going to be an initial fight favoring FUT. 2 big pickups. Are KC going to go through? They are! And Levin even wins the fight as decoy, serving as a little bit of cover there. And although the plant comes in, and Armageddon is online, Crystalli very low as a fallback to main, picks up an op, but now the time's on their side. And KC need to be quick to bait this ultimate out. They need to get on that spike.
Mr. Fallen on a long flank. They do have the turret, but it really just depends in what direction he goes. If he cuts back a little shorter, which is exactly what he's done, he's going to be able to get past already the utility, denying them a little bit longer, and now he strikes from behind. This is where they throw in the ultimate just to make sure that anybody on it is in trouble. It leaves just Sugetsu remaining. Wonderful post plant coming out from FUT, and from what looked like an impossible deficit, they end at 7-5.
They are really fighting for this tooth and nail with elimination on the line. Another 7-5 scoreline. 1 half left in this matchup. 1 half left in kickoff for one of these teams. We'll be kicking out a team after the break.
Extend away from their opponents. or FUT could begin to start things off. One of them is going to improve their percentage significantly as well versus the other. Both on 40%, both 1-6, lost 9. Clearly a lot of parallels between these two teams, and I think that can be felt within the server as well. With one about to be eliminated last and the other
Placing swamp
going marching on in the lower bracket. It almost feels unfair with how close this has been.
Yeah, it very much does. But whoever wins this has 5 series, one of which is a BO5 in a row needed to make it to Santiago. To start out, Zeus dropped here in the pistol. A sneaky play by Levin gets another kill in favor of KC. But these pistols, they always seem to point in one direction, and then a big individual play turns it the other way. A start for Yedige. It could be the same old story, but they'll stop him in his tracks. And Cristalli, last man standing, a frenzy, not the gun for the job. Everyone relatively healthy and well. They were stacked up and ready for that. A veritable firing squad awaiting him. Another round on the board for KC, leading 8-5. How far can they take it?
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. That extra little boost to kick off their attack side. And it seems like maybe a play towards B, just based off the weaponry that they're purchasing. Going in for the Outlaw, going in for a Vandal, a Guardian. A lot of long-range weapons with pistols to back them up. Potential that they'll go facing into the one real danger in this round, which is, of course, Yetige. Only a few bullets left. Only a few bullets he could afford. He's going to be challenged early, and it's a dry peek out. Okay, Levin hands him the initial kill.
Headhunter being offered another pickup as well. Doja playing with fire, but he will back off. The problem here, look at the decision for FUT. Do they leave completely? I mean, just now the drone's gone through. Aves spots one. Still a mass exodus from the A site. FUT, they're gambling it. Even after seeing that utility towards A, many teams would rotate back, but now 4 players on this B side. They will match the numbers of KC, but can they match the firepower with classics and a single bullet left in the Headhunter?
Main worry, I was going to say, was that Teo utility. That's already completely gone. They had multiple salvos.
30 seconds.
And it seems like they're second guessing
30
themselves.
30 seconds left.
They had things bang on, but after not seeing anything, they're immediately going to start rotating back. 1 player left within the site. It's a good luck to Mr. Fallen. Very likely his call to move away. He's just going to try and hold in the back line, something they desperately need to clear, maybe expecting a swing, and Aves has made sure that any more worry should be gone. A singular bullet left in the Headhunter, and I almost wonder if it's worth just going down to the spike. The only thing, and it's something that of course their opponents can't know, is that everybody is currently holding a rifle. I think that's how it might stay.
Well, they don't know where Zeus is, so maybe if he just waits, going down to the spike or making it costly on exits if they do come his way.
If anybody pushes that way, they've lost their mind.
Without a doubt. Yeah, long as the safe exit, and that is where KC are going. The right call made. Zeus will go down to the spike, and FUT will go down 9-5. A big resurgence needed, but that didn't stop them in the past. Thing is, we are now running out of time.
So Shados had a rifle.
He did, yes.
I was about to say, the really good thing for KC is that they kept, well, it was the rifles and, of course, the Outlaw in play. And so you didn't actually lose anything.
And they probably did, because I saw them all laughing and giggling on the stage. Seemed like good vibes, so...
Oh, instead of 0.5, you have 0.7. Good job, bro.
Well, the stat padding on the other side, has been called out. 9-5. Double digits is what KC is looking for, and if they find it here, it is pretty much the beginning of the end. FUT need to stop them here and now, and it has to be more than a speed bump. We need a full-on barricade, a blockade, as they keep pushing further and further into the lead. KC now set their sights on B. Nobody anywhere else on the map. Full dedication to it. And Yedige's op's already been pushed back. The next wave of utility might take him out of this hold altogether. He's been revealed. He's dead, surely.
He didn't even start this round with shields, but he survived longer than expected. The utility dump leaving him with nothing. I feel like this is round over. There's no way that FUT can hope to break back in on a 3v5. This is going to be an opportunity for Dosia to go from just having a ghost at the beginning of this round to potentially having an operator.
Look at the utility here. Look at that. They used everything. There's nothing left. Of course, you don't know that, and you see a very direct play as well. You assume there's some little bits left in the back pocket, but that was a full dump coming out of KC. They knew at that point, like, okay, first bit of utility gets us down long, second bit gets us into sight, and there's nothing they can do but give it up and play retake. Well, FUT didn't do that. They stuck around. A perplexing choice, and I think usually Yedege would already look to recall back, snap his fingers and get out of there, or reverse Dorothy, but the reality is he couldn't, because he already did. And the position he held was just, it was greedy, but it was kind of necessary. Get a pick, get out. But once that utility comes, that's get out time, and he missed his time. He missed his window.
Yeah, like that. Well, that was the thing. It was hit by. It was revealed, and then just hit by everything. Like there was no escape at that point. It was almost too easy. It looked like Cristalli was almost trying to give him a helping hand, but there was no survival. A lovely execution from KC, and that's what we talked about. Like this team, in terms of their initial plans and hits, has been great. It's the late round, but they didn't need a late round.
Exactly.
They'd already won the round.
If you lose the late round calls versus a save, then we have a major problem. Luckily, that's not the case here. And yet for KC, double digits on the board. Weakness is there for FUT, but they do save over those 3 weapons. They do put themselves in a position to buy back up and to fight for it here. But this is, again, that line in the sand. A loss in this round might as well be a loss in the series. You might as well pack your bags for a big old break before stage 1. Baha, he's got the angle. He spotted 11, but he wasn't ready to shoot. I like it though, playing passive, popping the smoke and calling for backup. Look how spread out KC are though. They've got a net spread across this, and the only real danger is that Yedege could walk up right behind them.
It does leave a bit of a gap in mid. Obviously you've got the trap there, but if it was broken, it would put Yetege in a pretty awkward position, but there hasn't been any pressure on that side. Already though, that's a huge pick. What? Mr. Farley just taken out. This Levin operator that they definitely knew was there has managed to find an opening. Nice shot from Baha, needs a little bit more, and he does. A second kill, and Sugetsu desperately low. Post-plant available, and a late lurk coming in from Dosia, but an even later lurk coming in on the other side, and they don't even get the plant down. Zeus has done well.
Yeah, it was a nice hinder thrown in alongside the salvo. Pushes a player into the open or forces their hand for an early death. That spike, 14 seconds, needs to be planted, and Yedege's got the round in his hands. Nicely done by the chamber. As we said, the only real danger in this round was that Yedege could just walk right up behind him. And eventually, that comes through, playing with the time a bit much. I feel bad for him there. Yeah, I didn't understand how he died. Looking at it from his perspective and seeing it a second time, I still don't. That's unlucky. Shoulders a bit too wide.
Oh, they're back on the board. Love that for him. And he's got his operator back. Well, the one he bought in the first round has a second one in his back pocket as well. But yeah, Yetege having a good half is going to be integral. Just look at the setup they're currently going for. 3 A main early, 1 player mid, Yetege B. If they can kill this guy off as they did in that initial bonus round, and this hold is going to become impossible. An immediate rotation. Cristalli is going to spot out Dosia, but that tells a different story than they're pushing this way. It tells them that they're likely not.
Yeah, but look at the play towards A main. Zeus about to round that corner. There's 2 players there as the smoke fades. Levin's good for 1, but has no notion that there could be a player creeping around behind him, but he's gotten out! Zeus waited too long to strike, and now the play is coming in towards B, but that op is still there. And Yedege is just biding his time.
He's in a good position. No escape from this spot, though. Dimensional drift becomes so important. This is only a classic, but playing aggressively with an operator. I don't know how. Again, he just seems to be surviving, hiding within, used as a distraction, and while the trades back and forth are enough for FUT. A second in a row. Some unorthodox gameplay from Yedege, but I got the job done.
Yeah. I think a little spooky there, seeing Shados hit someone with a Prowler and then jump into a smoke that he saw the guy with the Prowler in with utility out. I wasn't sure what I was witnessing quite in that moment, but yeah, Dejane survived as a result. Ended up trading blows later on, and second round in a row.
Nice!
That we're going to see that late fight be resolved by a flank. It seems like a lot of space being given to FUT when those executes are coming.
GX in the middle bracket, and then waiting in lower round 2, you got Heretics and Liquid. So it doesn't really get easier from here, I'll be honest. Like, this is probably the easiest match either side are going to get.
Yeah, after Heretics, it will be either Vitality or GX you face. Yeah, that's either one of those. Seems like a pretty tough matchup. And then there's a few more afterwards.
Yeah, then maybe a Na'Vi, maybe a Fnatic. Then maybe a Mainz or a BB. Yeah, it's rough. It's a long way back, all right? But that's what happens when you immediately lose 2 games.
Yeah, well, normally you go out of the tournament.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, second least alive.
Lucky to be here, but we'll
Very
see.
much so. Yeah, both
One of them's luck is about to run out. And although KC are in the lead, FUT have started to... Wow, they're looking for their 3rd life to maybe last just that little bit longer. For now, though, again, it's a similar trait as the opposing side. I want to see a bit of pressure put into that link, like put in to that runway down to B, break the trap, make it more awkward, because that trap sits there pretty much the whole round, and it means they could just do this, leave 1 player on the other side of the map to hold half the map.
Reveal, gone through, hasn't landed just yet, or rather has landed, but it's going through. KC delay a moment, and that avoids the initial burst of utility now. They look to take that site with a clean plant out of Shados, avoiding all of the salvos coming the other way, all of the spams as well. And now Nightfall goes through, but Mr. Fallen runs in on the back of it, completely catching them off guard. FUT now with a man advantage. They set their eyes on that spike. Shots landing from main. And the late play from Doja with a star that's, well, not in the normal position, but it has still delayed. It's bought time. Doja can strike from the side, but he is being watched. He was being watched as the stun goes through. More time eating away from that clock. And a nice shot from Doja. They're set up for success. It should be the end of the round, the end of the play. It's not even half. Doja expertly playing this late round, and KC just a few steps away from this lower bracket run commencing.
Again, I had a superb initial execute. It made things so awkward for the players, forced all the way to the back of site. Mr. Varlin definitely threw a spanner in the works by just running at them while hit by the Nightfall. I don't, maybe he doesn't know they can still hear you, but it seemed like he didn't give a damn. But then Dosia, just the final piece of the puzzle, the late play, the final free throw. And that's going to put them 2 rounds away from sending FUT packing. It's definitely not been an easy road, but if they complete this match, they can at least start getting ready for the next one.
A monumental task ahead of the victor. With the disappointment that comes with defeat, with the end of Kickoff. And FUT, they're not far away from that reality coming true in front of their eyes. Zeus emerges from the smoke as Doja waits, beckons him in. And soon to show FUT the door as KC 12 locked in now for FUT, 2v5 that they stand practically no chance of even coming close to winning.
Teleport's ready.
They've made that realization. Tour de force, it's been wasted here.
Well, that's the thing. He might as well go for some damage. I guess it's just, what are you gaining?
Yeah.
Like, your opponents have enough credits to buy anyway, and maybe he doesn't want to give over an orb. Maybe give a Sugetsu a lockdown or a dimensional drift. I guess that's the argument, but...
Yeah. Dimensional drift on entry as well.
Well, I think that's been the scariest thing for... Okay, that was a choice.
He did then go and died 11. So
yeah, that was a choice.
I am now immensely perplexed by what I watched, but okay.
That was basically the worst of all.
Yes. Troy has been sent to get the pizza. I mean, that I could stand there another 5 minutes. I don't think I'd be able to put the pieces together of what neurons were firing at that moment, but
Unlucky.
unlucky.
Oh.
You won the round, I guess, for the person that died.
Yeah,
but,
unlucky for them.
Not
12
that
and
unlucky.
7. And yeah, I'm not sure what went on there.
No,
Just
that
give
was
that
crazy.
over in the end. And we've already seen that when KC have an ult with their executions, they have been so hard to play against. Like, they have just had an extra little piece, like in that round. You see it. The Armageddon thrown to the back site, a stun put in the one place that would have been safe, and an easy opener, in fact, an easy double opener for Levin. Now he has his ultimate in play to just make this as awkward as possible for Yedeje. They already know exactly where he is. Counter Nightfall thrown out by FUT to try and slow this push as much as possible, but there is Levin with the backstab. Yedeje dead